Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Monday, April 22nd, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $sign ORION or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got some NHL playoffs, the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Dallas Stars. We're in the West first round, game number 1, and it's going to start here roughly in about 5 to 10 minutes. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Boston Bruins in the East first round, game number 2. Boston leads 1-0. Toronto might be able to squeak this one out. It looks like more than likely they will. Austin Matthews with the latest goal. And then once this wraps up, this is the doubleheader, obviously, from the first game to the next, Toronto and Boston. And then we got 2 of my favorite teams to watch other than the Seattle Kraken, not obviously mentioning the Colorado Avalanche, but we got the Vegas Golden Knights, who obviously won the championship last year, the Stanley Cup, and then they're going against the Dallas Stars. This year's a little bit different compared to last. You know, Vegas was the best team pretty much all year last year, and they kind of ran away with it. Now this year, Dallas is a little bit hotter going into the playoffs, so this might be the year that Dallas gets past Vegas, but we have to, get out there and see what we're going to actually have in 2024 in the playoffs for the Stanley Cup. So we got about a minute left, empty net for Boston, and they are in desperation mode. Boston has beaten Toronto 8 straight, so this would be a big, big win to tie up the series in the East first round, and then they'll have a little bit of, just kind of a, break and whatnot, through the commercials, and then we should be getting into our matchup with the Vegas Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars roughly in about 5 to 10 minutes. Let's go, baby. Cue the music. Take a look at the thumb. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Monday. Oh, man, they're getting crazy there. And then we're going to end up doing the Mariners and the Texas Rangers on Tuesday and Wednesday. NFL Draft day number 1 on Thursday. NFL Draft day number 2 for rounds 2 and 3 on Friday, unless we decide to do the Mariners and the Diamondbacks. I'll do a poll probably in the morning. Obviously, the first round is big. Obviously, day 2 is, second round and third round, so you're still going to get some quality pieces there. So we'll either do the second and third round on Friday or the Mariners and the Diamondbacks, either one or the other, even though I'll be keeping up with the NFL Draft day 1, day 2, and day 3, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but it'll just kind of depend on what we decide to stream. And then, obviously, we'll transition into the weekend. So definitely excited. We got Mariners and Rangers. We got the Mariners versus the Diamondbacks. We got the NFL Draft. And then, obviously, we got the NHL playoffs that will sprinkle in since we didn't have any Mariners tonight. And, obviously, the Dodgers had the day off as well. But I thought, you know what? This is a fantastic matchup. Usually during the regular season, I try to do at least 1 or 2 games between Vegas and Dallas. Seattle has to look up to these teams if they want to be able to be on their level. And hopefully we end up having a competitive matchup like we have here with the Maple Leafs and the Bruins. They got 48 seconds left. Maple Leafs are up 3-2. Empty net for Boston, but I assume with that Austin Matthews goal, that'll be good enough for Toronto to even up the series. Let's go, baby. And I had to hit you with the Dallas skyline instead of just using a regular, ice background. And I figured this one actually turned out pretty fucking good. Let's go. Vegas Golden Knights, Dallas Stars, game number 1. And we're going to have the puck drop here just as soon as this other matchup wraps up, unless it ends up going into overtime. But we're just waiting on this one to finish. And that typically happens when they do these double headers, obviously, on ESPN or ESPN2. Let's go. Daniel in the building. What's good? Matt in the building. What's good? Let's get to 100 and donos. Let's do it. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. Hey, Denver Broncos trading for Zach Wilson. The quarterback room doesn't look very good yet, but if they can add Bo Nix, then they'll figure out one of those guys that they currently have on the roster to cut. New uniforms that they're going to be debuting next year for the Broncos. I got a lot of Bronco, friends that messaged me this morning asking me what I thought about them. And if you actually do a side-by-side comparison, the only jersey I really liked from last year was the white. And if you actually look at the blue and the white, they kind of look like Arizona or Virginia, jerseys from college. but they're also bringing back the Orange Crush throwback, back from like the 80s. So that'll be fire. And I know a lot of fans are excited about that. And you're going to get to see that jersey, hopefully at least 2 times next season. And, it would be awesome if that was like the regular jersey for them. But, it is what it is. But always exciting when you get new helmets, new uniforms, just like the Detroit Lions debuting their blacks. And obviously some throwback looks as well. So very excited for the NFL draft coming up. And we are almost wrapped up here. And it looks like the Maple Leafs are going to end up getting the dub. There it is. Final score in the East first round, game number 2. Toronto gets its first win out of 8 consecutive losses, and they finally get to tie up the series. The Toronto Maple Leaf fans in Canada are going wild. Austin Matthews, that's why he's one of the best players in the NHL. You have to rely on your superstars to come up big for you. He did. And Pasta, I have to go back to the drawing board. Now it's 1-1. And I'll definitely keep my eyes on this particular series moving forward between the Maple Leafs and the Boston Bruins. But here we go. We're going to get started here in just a couple minutes. We're just waiting for them to wrap up. And hopefully we're going to transition everything over here in just a second. Let's go, baby. Elliot in the building. What's good? Let's go. And if you guys have a Twitter/X, if you want to do your boy a solid and like and retweet the stream, it'll help us out. Appreciate you, Matt. And Elliot, if you can do that as well, that would be great. And hopefully we can get a few people in here to be able to watch this particular matchup. Let's go. Let's go. Megan's in the building, always supporting. Hey, bring on the draft and go Vegas, go Leafs. Hey, Austin Matthews, he's awesome. Let's effing go, baby. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. And here we go. I'm excited about this because, like I said, I always like to be able to scout the best teams that are going to be in the Western Conference, even if they're not number 1 overall. But, Dallas is always fun. Vegas is always fun. Colorado Avalanche is always fun. And obviously me and Megan being hardcore Kraken fans, obviously we would have loved if us, the Kraken fans were being able to celebrate like some of these other teams. But hopefully next year, and I know that they're going to be doing some evaluating of Hack and that roster. Hopefully they end up bringing back, the coach and a majority of the roster. We do need to make some improvements there. But, 2-minute minor right out of the gates. Wow. Steal to the box already. Ben, Tanev, Lindell, Johnston. And they got Jake Ottinger in net. And then we got Stone back making his debut after being hurt forever. Hurdle, Stevenson, Hannafin, and Captain Jack Eichel. Let's go. Super excited about this matchup. I'm excited about Mariners, Rangers. I'm excited about the NFL draft. Day 1, day 2, day 3. I'll be watching them all. But again, we'll do the NFL draft on Thursday. But for day number 2 in the draft, I'm probably going to do it. Because there's a lot of good talent in rounds 2 and 3. And I'll just keep my eyes on the Mariners and the Diamondbacks. And then we'll, transition into the weekend and we can always go there. So Vegas power play. Let's go. And anyone that's got a Twitter/X, be your boy solid. We're at 10. Let's get to 100. 90 to go. Bang, bang, baby. Yeah, I can definitely do that. Absolutely. I'm a little jealous. It looks cool. Like I said, I wish I had a next-gen system. I don't got any money for that. But on the bright side, with all the hard work and all the grind that I've been putting in, when you end up having debt that needs to be paid, whether it's through taxes that are owed from back in the day or whatever it is, I've been really diligently working on that. And, to go from, oh, baby, bang, Golden Knights get off to a fast start. Hurdle with a goal. Wow. Or was that Mark Stone? Oh, baby, that was Mark Stone. Wow. Power play, unassisted. Let me see this replay again. Mark Stone, he's like, I haven't played in ages. Let me get in here and make a difference. Oh, damn. That was from way far away, too. Wow. Unbelievable. Ottinger, Mark Stone, 35th career playoff goal, 16 in 56 regular season matchups. And that's how you make a difference when you've been out for a while with a significant injury. Vegas started off really hot at the beginning of the year, like 11-0-1. Then they ended up playing the Kraken on, the Winter Classic, and they kind of hit a skid. And the goaltending hasn't been as good overall, compared to what it was last year, specifically Adin Hill, but we don't have to worry about him tonight. We got Thompson in net. But a fantastic start for Vegas right out of the gates. And that's my favorite part with the NHL playoffs is a lot of times you're going to get goals right out of the gate. And I'm a little shocked. I didn't think it would be that soon. I thought maybe within the first 5 minutes. But this might end up being like a 4-3, 5-4 kind of game. And I'm here for it. Let's go. Heck yeah. Let's go, baby. Mark Stone. Let's see what we got on the lines here. Tigan Suter, Marchment, Harley, and then we got Marchessault, Barbashev, Eichel, White Cloud. Oh, baby. Let's go. This is on ESPN, too, if you guys want to be able to watch along. Yeah, I mean, wishful thinking, Matt. Let's be honest. I mean, regardless of where Zach Wilson goes, he's not really that good. You know what I mean? Like, he might be able to slowly get a little bit better. You go from one Wilson to another Wilson, but you're not going to want to see him on the field at all if you want Denver to be any point in the season significantly better than where they were last year. So you really got to be able to hope that you end up getting Bo Nix in the draft, because the way that your quarterback room sits right now, and this is not me being a hater, just being honest, you probably got the worst quarterback room in the NFL right now based on the 3 quarterbacks that are in the room currently on the Denver Broncos. So, hopefully it ends up getting better. One of those guys might end up getting cut if they end up getting Bo Nix in the draft, but you might be able to help with a little bit of mechanics and whatnot. But again, you're not going to want to see Zach Wilson on the field at all in 2024 if you guys are going to, try to be able to develop and get better. Plus, you guys have a lot of holes on the O-line. You need better running backs. You obviously need a defense. So there's a lot to improve there. And, we'll see where it goes. And it was kind of like low risk, high reward. And maybe Zach Wilson can get in there, as the backup role. But based on the other 2 guys that you have in there besides Zach, I don't even know if he's going to be the backup. He might end up being 3rd string. We're going to have to kind of wait and see, what Sean Payton can do with all the guys that they have in the quarterback room. So. Nice. Uh-oh, slashing penalty on Vegas. Mark Stone out of the gates. If I can get a good photo of Mark here. Playoff hockey is always exciting. More exciting than the NBA, if you ask me. Vegas has won all 3 matchups so far. Let's see if I can have this good one to Stone. Mark Stone on the power play, baby. Assisted by Noah Hannafin and Captain Jack Eichel, baby. 1-0 Vegas. All right, we got less than a minute left here in the power play. Let's go, baby. Let me go to my Instagram here, see if I can pull up your new controller that you got. Arupe Hintz. Dallas has got a lot of quality players like Vegas, so this is what's going to make this matchup interesting. Could definitely go either way, but Dallas is going to have to use that home ice advantage. You can never count out Vegas no matter what. Let's see who we got in the line here. Heiskanen, Johnson, Marchment, Seguin, Duchesne, Stone, Stevenson, Hannafin. Let's go. Take a look at your custom controller. I see you. Looks good. Like I said, you can display it or you can use it. You know, if it was me, I would probably use it. But again, you know, it's up to you. And depending on how much money you had to pay for that, you know, since it was how much did you have to pay for that? Like, how much are controllers nowadays? Or do you have to pay like $40, $50 for a controller nowadays? And then, like, what does a regular controller cost for like Xbox and PS5? And then for custom controllers, what do those cost? I would assume that there's a little extra fee involved with that. $14.50 left in the first period. Vegas 1, Dallas 0. Mark Stone making his impact already right out of the gate. Lots of action, and these guys are getting very physical, and they've gone against each other many, many times. So it's like, you know, there's a little bad blood between both of these teams, and Dallas definitely wants revenge on what happened to them last year after they ended up getting past Seattle, you know, the Kraken, and then ended up losing to Vegas, and then Vegas ended up beating Florida and being Stanley Cup champions. But I'm not sure if this team is good enough. You can never count out a team like Vegas, but if you're looking at statistics, you know, in the last 20 years, we've only had 2 teams go back-to-back. So it's not very often that it happens, you know, not only on the NFL side, but on the NHL side. So obviously with the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Penguins. So, you know, when you're looking at teams like this, you know, what Jekyll and Hyde are we going to get? Are we going to get the real good Vegas team at the beginning of the year, you know, or are we going to get the team that played the Kraken, you know, during the Winter Classic? You know, it's kind of going to be a tale of 2 different teams, but I'm not sure if Vegas is, you know, good enough to win it all and win back-to-back Stanley Cups, but I wouldn't count them out, you know, but again, it feels like they're not really as good as they were last year as like the #1 team, and everyone kind of knew it. They're going to have to really earn it this year. So it's not impossible, but if I had to put money on it, I would probably say you're going to have a new champion this season, and it's not going to be Vegas. It'll be someone else. But if Vegas ends up repeating and going back-to-back, I think everyone would be surprised just because they haven't been as good you know, as they were last year. Now, if they were just as good as they were last year, I think you'd hear more people say, yes, they're going to be able to repeat. But I think they're, you know, very, very good. But I feel that there's a few other teams that might be able to give them a run for their money, including the Dallas Stars, if they can get past this Vegas team in the first round in the West. You got Canucks winning it all? That's a good prediction. I'm not really sure. I mean, like I said, it's all depending on who's hot and who's healthy and whose goaltending is going to be the hottest. So 3 shots on goal for the Stars. Oh, baby! Boom! There we go. Yes! Suda! Oh, baby. We're knotted up at 1, baby. Woo! Ryan Suda! Oh, baby. I got to get a photo. Oh, there we go, Stars. Oh, now they're into it. Nice job, Ryan. Duda. Wow. Amazing. Let's go. Oh, coach's challenge for offside. Boo. Find out real quick. But at this point, it's 1-1, but they're doing a review to see if he was offsides. There's a lot more excitement, you know, like I said, just with the fights, the fast pace. You know, I don't want to say that the NBA playoffs are terrible, you know, but again, you know, the NBA isn't what it was in the 80s and 90s. And, you know, there's still going to be some good matchups, but I feel like it's not really going to get, you know, interesting until we really get to the West Finals and the East Finals and then the NBA Finals. But even that being said, I feel that, you know, the NHL playoffs from top to bottom are going to be more exciting, game in and game out. Oh, brutal. Offsides, no goal. Boo. Oh, Stars fans can't believe it. Nick wants his French fries. Damn. Goal off the board. All right, let me see if I can get a few more photos of your new controller here. Anything else that you want? How much did this cost? What did this run you back? $50 more? I mean, I remember back in the day with early PlayStation controllers, you could get one for like $20 to $30, but obviously when you're going like next gen and then custom, then you might have to throw in an extra $15 or $20 or whatnot, but it looks awesome. And I'm an attention to detail kind of person too, so every little detail, is noticed. It's a very cool controller. Oh, nice. What is that in American dollars? 158 Aussie. What's that in American? Like 80 or 90? 75? Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. And NHL playoffs, I mean, I get it. In NHL, the NBA, MLB, and NASCAR aren't going to be for, just everybody, or even wrestling. It's not going to be for everyone, and I feel that it's easier to watch the NFL and college football probably than anything. But when it comes to the playoffs, I feel that the intensity, obviously, in the NBA and the NHL, they go up just like the MLB. But with the NHL, that intensity never really goes away. It's just if you're a fan, you notice it during the regular season, but then it goes up like 5 notches. More fights, the crowd is just into it. And I feel like with the NBA, the crowds aren't as good as NHL crowds. NHL crowds are better, and I like to be able to feel that passion and that intensity, and I want to feel that vibe. And I feel like with the NBA, you don't really get the same type of vibes in the playoffs like you do with the MLB or specifically the NHL. Oh, 101 in the U.S. Wow. $10, 90 to go. That goal goes off the board. And then obviously as we go, further along into the playoffs, if the Mariners have a day off, yeah, I'll definitely swoop in and do some more NHL playoff matchups for sure. Not sure if we'll do anything on the NBA side. I mean, maybe Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference, if it's good enough. But even if it ends up being like Denver and Boston, it's kind of a snooze fest. I mean, what's going to happen? Denver's going to play Boston. Boston's going to play like shit. They have no one to guard the Joker. And then Denver ends up repeating and winning 2 in a row. I mean, did I pretty much call it? It's like, I don't necessarily need to watch every single game to know more than likely what's going to happen unless the Joker has an injury. And it is possible that if they do have some injuries that someone beats Denver. But based on how they played, I'm not really sure if anyone can match up, playoff-wise with them, in the Western Conference or the Eastern Conference. And I know Boston is pretty good this year, but Porzingis is ass on defense. He can't guard him. He's got some offensive skill set. You can't put Jaylen Brown or Tatum on him. So when it really comes down to it, Giannis is hurt as well. So you can't expect them to do anything. Oh, baby. Uh-oh, Vegas. Bang! Another Jonathan Marchessault. Dallas is in trouble at home. Marchessault. And anytime you doubt Vegas, right, they come into the playoffs and they're just ready to whoop their ass. Wow. Stars fans are stunned. That experience is king, so that's why even though they're not as good as they were last year, if they're out there and they're in the playoffs, they are the champs. So you can't take them for granted whatsoever. 31st career playoff goal, 42 in the regular season, assisted by Ivan Barbashev. And that's the thing with Vegas, they have a lot of depth. It just depends on the goaltending, between Adin Hill and company, and if they can end up, being pretty decent in net between Thompson and Adin Hill, yeah, they may be able to repeat. But I'm not sure if anyone tonight, including myself, thought that Vegas was going to go up 2-0 in the first. This is a little shocking. Wow, unbelievable. Okay, Vegas. Okay. Mark Stone, he's like, I was injured, but I'm back. Let me get a goal. Marchessault's like, you never count me out. And it's like they have like 7 or 8 guys on the regular that can score goals, and they have a lot of depth. You know, you don't see that kind of depth on very many teams in the NHL. Very dangerous, as we can see. Not a good look for Jake Ottinger's confidence in game number 1. Wow, I'm shocked a little bit right now. Focus in the building. What's good? Oh, that's a good question. That is a good question. It all depends on what they end up doing in the draft, right? So Mac Jones is gone. So, and obviously we know, with, Zappy, he wasn't good enough either. So we'll have to kind of wait and see what direction they end up going. If it ends up being Jaden Daniels or Drake May, I mean, those are kind of, most people, they got Caleb going to the Bears. A lot of people think Jaden Daniels is going to the, Commandos. And then obviously New England will end up getting Drake May. But, even if you end up getting one of those guys, they got a lot of issues at running back, wide receiver, tight end, offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, secondary. So even if you end up getting Drake May and he plays well, the chances of the New England Patriots, making the playoffs in the next couple years is probably not that likely. They're going to have to build for probably, in all honesty, they're probably going to have to build for 4 years, and they're going to have to hit on 3 years in a row in the draft. And then if they do that, and then hopefully bring in some free agents that actually want to build something new in New England post Belichick, Brady, and Gronk, then down the road, the goal will be, let's try to get to 10 wins. And then if you can get to 10 wins, then you're going to be close, to probably Miami and obviously the Jets, for that wild card spot, depending on where you're at. But it's going to be a little rough being a New England Patriot fan. I mean, listen, in all honesty, I think any New England fan already saw that last year. And again, it's a team game, not a me game. And I did end up seeing a good interview that got reposted with Vic the barber. He goes around and cuts hair for, random strangers, homeless, athletes. And Vic Blends, he ended up doing an interview with Tom Brady. And I thought Tom Brady hit it right on the head. And I'm a big Brady guy, not just because he ended up winning the Super Bowl for my Bucks, but, just based on his work ethic and all the extras that he's, doing on and off the field. And he's always a team guy before being a me guy. And he said something that I thought that resonated with me really well, that a lot of these athletes nowadays are selfish. A lot of NFL players are selfish, and it's me. What about my brand? What about my social media? And that's the fucking problem. If you're going to be a me guy, you're not going to be able to win. You got to be a team guy. And I feel that, with a lot of the guys that have retired, with Ben Roethlisberger and Phillip Rivers and Brady and Manning and that old school era, Drew Brees is all done. There was more team guys that were out there. Now there's a lot of me guys. And it's kind of sad to see the league, kind of transition that way. And hopefully we can get some more team guys, because if you get team guys, it's a team game. It's 11 on 11. It's going to be one of those things. If you're going to be a selfish player, which we may end up seeing, some of these quarterbacks in this upcoming draft might be selfish players. It may or may not work out for those guys. You can have, amazing talent, and you can have the skill set. But again, you're not going to be able to single-handedly win games by yourself. Even Patrick Mahomes is, being the best quarterback in the league, still can't win games by himself. So it's not like the NBA where it's 5-on-5 and one player like a Jordan, or a Bird, or a Magic, that can just take over a game single-handedly. So. Focus in the building. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Focus is in the building. Focus. Thank you, man. Focus Wes ain't playing around. He says, I want to be a GOAT. Hey, Focus. Much love. Focus with the 50. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. A little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Focus West with the $50 dono. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. It could be anything you want. Baseball, basketball, football, hockey, whatever the hell you want. It could be it could be your favorite rapper. It could be a singer. It could be a band. It could be a wrestler. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Focus West in the building, man. Thank you. And like I said, I've been a little light on the Cash App, within the last couple weeks. And, I only get paid once a month, from the Super Chat. So anything I get on the Super Chat, right, I have to wait till next month to actually see that. So in all honesty, if I don't get Cash App, throughout the month, I'm dead broke. I don't have any money to pay bills, because I'm only getting paid once a month. Some of y'all are getting paid once a week or bi-weekly every 2 weeks. But when you're a streamer and you're on YouTube, you only get paid once a month. So it's very hard to be able to manage your money when you're only getting paid once a month. So you need to have, something come in, either Venmo or Cash App, just to be able to survive. And thank you so much. Paisley's dog food is like $80. I got obviously a lot of bills through the internet, obviously, through StreamYard and everything else. I don't really, spend any money on myself. I just grind. But thank you so much for your generosity and support. Shout out to Focus and shout out to Megan on supporting the cause. I love you guys and appreciate you guys very much. For the puppies, I appreciate you. So I'll support you until I can. I appreciate that very, very much, man. And Paisley's going to definitely benefit from that. And again, dog food is expensive. Bones are expensive. Toys, ropes, and balls are expensive. I mean, nothing is really cheap. But if there's something I can do to be able to, thrill my daughter, because I am the dog father, I'm going to do that. And thank you so much, Focus. I appreciate you. Congratulations to your sister for getting married as well. Thank you so much, man. 2-0 Golden Knights. 6 shots on goal for the Stars, 5 for the Golden Knights. Let me take a look here on what we got on the ice right now. Suter. Oh, Joe's in the game. Pavleski, Tanev, Hintz, and Robertson. Let's see if Jason can actually get some goals for the Stars this season. Then we got Marchessault, Barbashev, Eichel, and White Cloud out there for the Golden Knights. I mean, Dallas needs to stop the bleeding. I mean, you got to think 6 shots and Vegas already has 2 goals. I mean, what are they pacing for 8? And, obviously 6 at this point, 2, 2, and 2. If you end up getting 2 goals in the first, then you're pacing for 2 in the second, 2 in the third. But it's just like the worst nightmare for the Stars. But Vegas, right now they're smiling because everyone, I don't want to say everyone counted them out. I mean, I think a lot of the people that watch them this year know that they're a streaky team. But anytime you end up being the champs, you have to be dethroned before we say, oh, they can't win it all. They definitely can go back to back. But again, they're just not as good and consistent in net or on the ice as they were last year. And last year, they were the number 1 team pretty much the whole season. And they carried off that Uncle Mo and that momentum, and they ended up winning the Stanley Cup. Good question. We end up getting, I wish we could actually collaborate with the Twitter/X fans as well. I guarantee we probably have some Edmonton fans on there that are watching, and they don't have the ability yet, I believe, to chat and have it cross over here, but at some point, I hope that is the case where they have a like button on the actual Twitter stream that I'm streaming both places, where they can like the stream from Twitter, X, they can comment from there, they can donate from there, but they haven't integrated that. Elon, help your boy out, man. Hopefully they'll end up doing that because there's not a lot of people that are doing what I do where we end up streaming on both platforms at the same time. There's a few that end up doing it, but once they integrate that, that's going to end up taking both platforms to a whole nother level. And also taking the streamer, to another level as well. So that way you can end up getting more likes, more comments, more interaction, and more possible donations as well. So. We got less than 5 minutes to go in the first period. 2-0 Golden Knights. Oh, what a spin move! Oh! if he just had a little bit more control there. Hit him with the spin cycle. Wash them close twice. Wow. But I mean, doing it in football, right, or basketball, then compared to doing it on skates, it's a little bit harder. But he almost pulled that off and just lost control of the puck there. I think that could have been an opportunity for a goal attempt and a pretty good shot there if he was able to do the full spin cycle. 7 shots on goal for the Stars, 7 for the Vegas Golden Knights. You got something specific that you want to be able to see? I mean, I could put up some Wayne Gretzky. I could put up some Grant Fuhr. I could put up some Mark Messier, Paul Coffey. I mean, I can hit you with Ryan Smith, Connor McDavid, of course. You know, you got to just let me know what you're looking at. But let's throw up. Let's see what we got here. See, what do I got here? I gotta find it. Let me find it here. Where are you? If you want old school, you want new school, you let me know. I got you. I appreciate you so much. And it's always good when we can end up getting, you know, some newbies or people that sub to the channel but maybe only watch reaction videos, or maybe just recently found us, and then they can end up coming through and supporting the channel and supporting me and Paisley to make sure I can continue to do this dream, you know, full time, and also be able to take care of my pup. So, you know, that will not obviously be forgotten. I appreciate you. Shout out to Megan and shout out to Focus, baby. Well, we threw up a couple for, oh, baby, there it is. Boom. There it is. Nice goal from the Stars. Wow. Jamie Benn. Oh, baby. There we go. There we go, Jamie. There we go. Now the crowd is back into it. Captain Jamie Benn, I see you. I got a good one of him. Here we go. And if they didn't get that other goal taken away, then we'd have an amazing matchup in the first period, 2-2. Let's go, baby. Jamie Benn assisted by Wyatt Johnston. 2-1 Vegas. Let's go. All right, let's do that. Hold on, let me 1 sec here. Great picture. Let me see if I can pull this up. That's like one of my favorite things to be able to do on the channel, is to be able to show off you guys, and whether that be photos of you guys, places you've been, your pets, the cool things that you've been able to, go to concert-wise or game-wise. Oh, Focus West. Let's go, baby. Congratulations to you and the fam. Congratulations to your sister there. Hey, if you want me to throw up any of your pup as well, I can do that too. Shout out to you, man. Less than 3 minutes to go in the first period. 8 shots on goal for each team. This might be a long night for the goaltenders in net. You got some good pictures on there on your Insta of your pup too. I found the last photo that you took of your pup. This is what we're gonna do. And then I got to crop it here, and then I'm gonna send it to Matt, and then I'll be able to grab it from there, and then I'll throw that up. Boom, shakalaka, technology. So you go here, boom, and then send that to Matt. Boom, boom. All right, let's take a look at Focus West pup. Your boy has to work fast on the internets, baby. All right, where is it? We got like a billion files. All right, we got 2 minutes left in the first period. 2-1 Golden Knights. You got the wedding. Good looking bunch there. Up, baby. Let's go. Your boy works fast. Okay. Send me something. And shout out to Elliot, Matt, and Megan for helping me out on the Twitter/X. If you do have a Twitter/X account, please do your boy a solid and like and retweet the live stream. It'll help us get more people on here as well. We got Elliot and Matt that liked the stream, and then we had Megan and Elliot and Matt that actually reposted. If you could like the stream too, Megan, on there too, that would be fantastic. So we could have 3 and 3. That would be awesome. Oh, wow. That is awesome. Oh, boom. Right off the power play, Jake Ottinger might have to get benched. 3-1 Vegas. Wow. Tomas Hertl. And I know when they picked him up at the trade deadline that he was going to be an impactful player. And, game 1, right out of the gates, he said, I'm here. And that's what you needed, because they had some struggles, at a certain point in the season. And when you end up getting guys like Tomas Hertl, when you get something like that where he's one of the best players on his former team, you join a team that already has a bunch of studs, and that's how you end up getting up 3-1 on the Stars on the road. Unbelievable. Wow. Wow. Hockey from home in the building. What's good? Oh! I thought we were going to have another goal there. It's like nonstop action. Like I'm trying to multitask and do like 6 things at once. I got like 7 screens up, right? We got to be able to watch the game, call the game, talk to you, throw up photos, interact with y'all. Shout out to the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. Less than a minute 30 to go! Oh, baby! Boom, 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 boom. Wow! Are you kidding me? Jason Robertson. As soon as I felt like, he needs to step up, there it is. We could have had 6 goals in the first period. This might be the best series in the first round. I mean, you want to see your goalies and your goaltenders play a little bit better than this, but the offensive firepower is lit. Wow. Let's go. Everyone looking good in that photo, and that photo, and that one as well. That one, it's not too bad. Let's go. 3 chairs, 3 pups, the way it should be. Wow. And that's one thing that I noticed last year. I felt like, Jason kind of let the team down. Like, he didn't really score as much as I think that they needed him to in the playoffs. He was good in the regular season, but and the postseason, he was kind of cold. And that was a little unusual. It's like you need Joe, you need Roope Hintz, you need Jason, you need all of your studs on Dallas to be firing. You just can't have one good player out of the 4 or 5, score goals. You're going to need everyone to participate like tonight. And wow, I see you, Jason. And they're going to need him to score, on almost every game if they're going to want to end up beating a team like Vegas. There's just no way that you can have Pavelski or Robertson or Roope Hintz. If those guys don't score, they're fucked. They don't have enough, pieces there. Let's go, baby. Robertson, assisted by Logan Stanley. And I got to get the Tomas Hertl goal as well. Wow, what a first period. This is one of the best first periods in a first-round Game 1 game that I've seen in probably 3 or 4 years. Unbelievable. This is the reason why I did this particular matchup. Being a Kraken fan and obviously, watching the Western Conference and love watching Colorado, love watching Vegas, love watching Dallas, not only in the postseason, but the regular season. To me, they're really fun to watch, but then you have other teams that have superstar players, like Edmonton and a few others, where you have your Connor McDavids and whatnot. And, hopefully one day we'll have one. Oh, what a save. Thompson decides that, hey, maybe I should save it with 1 second left. Wow. Man, I did not. I mean, I knew it was going to be exciting, but holy cow. Still one. I got to still put up the Tomas Hertl. Let's see where I got him. I got him in here. Not a whole lot of photos of him because he just came over, at the trade deadline. There we go. Wow. We could have had 6 goals. We could have had a 3-3 game if we didn't have that offsides and that goal taken away. But what an explosive first period. One of the best. Tomas Hertl, I see you. And then just like that, about a minute later, when Tomas made it 3-1, Jason Robertson said, hey, don't forget about me. Oh, shit, I won't. There we go, baby. 3-2, end of the first period. Offensive fireworks. Wow. Awesome. All right, now I can put up some more photos. Thank you, Megan, for liking the stream there. Now we got 3 and 3 there. Wow. And we got Edmonton, the Oilers going against the Los Angeles Kings. Oilers up 1-0. Let's go. All right, let's get some photos and get some few more up here for focus. And then Megan, if you have anything else that you want, since we're in the intermission, let me know. What's the Padres? How have they been playing the last couple games? Have they been starting to turn it around like the Mariners? Or where are you guys at? You guys still floating around 500 like Seattle? The thing is that even though we're not playing the greatest baseball, we've been getting hotter as of late, and we're right there for first place with the Rangers. But then we have like a 3-game set with them, and then right after we play them, we play the Diamondbacks, and the Diamondbacks have been kind of struggling too. My buddy Justin, Duffelbag Boys, on our birthday, it's coming up, and we usually go to Seattle together, but I told him to go with his dad, and they have a turn back the clock night with the jerseys that Griffey wore back in the day, and him and his dad are going to 2 games against the Diamondbacks. I wish I was going with him so I could help my buddy get a ball, but he's going to have a great time there. He's going to 2 games to see Eugenio Suarez, Corbin Carroll, and the Mariners up in Seattle, and they're going to get a hotel and stay up there for 2 games out of a 3-game set. that. And then on July 4th, me and him are going to go see the Orioles. So, I mean, hell, if you're going to go to 3 games and my buddy's going to go see the Diamondbacks for 2 and the Orioles for 1, that's a pretty good lineup to be able to go if you're only going 2 or 3 times a year. So I'm probably only going to be able to go once, maybe twice, just because of the pup and just the schedule and all, but we'll see. Pitching has been good. Nice. I have seen that your former pitcher, Snell, has been struggling. We had 60. Let's get to a hundo. 40 to go. Let them know. Let me take a quick peek at the likes, too. Let's see if we can make sure we get those up as well. And I'm going to get some Oiler photos up for Focus. And anything else that he wants or Megan wants. Let's take a quick look. All right. Still got a lot more to go and more, ground to cover on the YouTube side. 3 more to get to 10. And if you can smash that like button for your boy, I'd be greatly appreciated. Even if you have to go from the Twitter side, X side, and go to the YouTube side to smash the like button, it takes like 5 seconds to do it. We got 45 people watching. Appreciate y'all. But it shows you, if we can get things integrated, like I always, not all the time, but as of late, I've been getting more views on the Twitter X side than on the YouTube side. So, if we can get more people to support on the YouTube side, then, obviously we'll be able to make that happen. So, all right, let me see if I can get, throw up a couple Connor McDavids. Almost a guarantee that he'll get a goal or an assist every game that he plays, sometimes multiple. Man, what a first period. 3-2 Vegas. When it just looked like Vegas was going to run away with it. He said, nah. Glad that Dallas fought back because I was getting a little nervous there. Uncle Mo is a motherfucker, and if you don't respond quickly, things can get out of hand, especially if your goalie is ass. For that particular matchup. But I got Connor McDavid for days here. I got a nice Wayne Gretzky up here too. Connor McDavid, baby. I'm in. Unbelievable. Pete and Lincoln, I got you. And we can do Mike, the new head coach too. I know that, obviously they were taking down a lot of the murals and everything because you want to be able to, create your own legacy moving forward. But I did see that they brought something over from the Ravens side where McDonald actually has them wearing game jerseys during practice. I like that idea. Throwback for Gino, blue for the home, white for the away on offense and defense and whatnot. So, and again, it's not like they're trying to forget about the past. They just want to be able to write their own history, with this new coaching staff coming in. So, all right, let's see what we got here. Let's go, baby. My thumbnail game is on point. It all started off with Mark Stone right out of the gates, baby. All the boo birds out for Stoner. First game since February 20th for Stone to get the first goal is only fitting for Vegas since he had that spleen injury on February 20th. Oh, a great one. 2-0 Edmonton. Ooh, baby. All right, so now we're at intermission. Anything that Focus or Megan, anything else? So again, let me get those. Let me get that queued up for you since we just wrote that down. I just saw that. My mind is going like 360 miles an hour here. So. All right, let's get some of the coaches up for you. Some of the old school and the new school. NFL draft right around the corner. We'll do day 1, day 2. I would do day 3 if I had, if I felt like we'd have enough people in there that actually cared, but only the diehards care about day 3. Day 1, you get first round. Day 2 on Friday will be rounds 2 and 3, and then rounds 4 through 7. I watch it, in entirety, but again, and I know Megan does as well, and a few others, but not everyone is like us. There's different levels of fandom, and some of us are going to watch, every single pick, and others, will have better things to do, on day 3 where they're busy. And I get it, it just depends, I guess, on how hardcore of a fan you are and if you have free time to watch all 3 days. Some people don't have the time to watch all 3 days, but, I'll stream day 1 and day 2. No problem. I figured you would. Man, I kind of miss these ones. We haven't thrown these up in a minute. So what do you think about the Kraken on possibly firing Hack or making huge adjustments to the roster? What do you think about that? I've been reading a lot of articles on there, and it seems like some of the Kraken fan base is concerned on what moves are going to be done, after the season is completely done, even though the Kraken season is over. But once the NHL is done for this, particular postseason, it seems like there may or may not be some moves, for the Seattle Kraken. So I hope they don't get rid of Hack. And I know one of their TV announcers was rumored to be leaving. One of the best in the business, so. And hopefully I'll get support like that one day. Edmonton 2, Kings 0. And you would assume Edmonton is going to beat the brakes off the Kings, you would assume. And Toronto beat Boston 3-2 to tie that up 1-1. And then Carolina beat the Islanders 5-3. Yeah, I was going to say, it's a team effort, it has to be, a collective effort. Yeah, and I heard that as well. That pretty much like on kind of towards those last couple broadcasts, some of the other people in the booth were kind of giving them hugs, like, "Hey, stay. We want you here," and whatnot. But agreed. We need more players that are more offensive threats. Again, at some point or another, we're going to have to look at net. Between now and the next 5, 6, 7 years, we may not have the same goalies that we have now in net, 5, 6, 7 years from now. So, we're going to have to be able to just keep beefing up the roster and finding the right pieces. I mean, of course, we love all the guys that are on the team now, but we just need to have more consistency and we need to have more offensive firepower if we want to be able to make the playoffs on a regular basis. Yeah, and we got some guys coming up from Coachella too that could be very exciting. I totally agree with you. All right, second period is getting close to being underway here. Especially what we saw, in those last, 4 or 5 games. I mean, if you're going to be coming in and then you're scoring right away, it's just like Jonathan Clase for the Mariners. Like, it was flat. There was no energy. Then we bring him up from AAA, and then all of a sudden the Mariners are playing fantastic and they're feeding off that energy. I think the same thing kind of happened for Shane Wright and the Kraken, but it was just kind of too little too late because we were already eliminated. But it was cool to be able to see the energy in the rest of the other players, seeing what he can bring to the Kraken scoring goals, and that's what we need. So I 100% agree with you. We can, sometimes not be so afraid of bringing guys up, especially if we're struggling. You can give guys a chance, and if it works out, good. And then if they struggle, you can always bring them back down. But giving young guys an opportunity, sometimes they'll surprise you, and they may be pro-ready sooner than people think. And those are 2 great examples for Seattle sports. Shane Wright for the Kraken and Jonathan Clase for the Mariners, obviously this season. I 100% agree. I like seeing young guys come up. It's exciting. It's like a shot in the arm when things are dead and, you're losing games, you're not scoring, and then all of a sudden you bring a new guy in and then you see consistency, a goal here, another goal. Oh, a hit, an RBI, another hit. Oh, and then you start to feel that juice and that momentum. It's like having that spark off the bench or that spark in the lineup that was missing. And we need that for, obviously Seattle sports, Kraken and Mariners. 100% agree. Let me see if I can get a couple Lincoln Rileys in here for you before we get started. And then if Focus wants anything, if he has the time, then we can squeeze in anything that he wants for Edmonton, if that is his favorite team or anything else. Definitely excited to see what happens in the future for USC, Oregon, UW, as well as UCLA. Might be able to squeeze one more in. Let's see if I can format it. Get one with Caleb in it too. And, even though I'm a Duck fan and, you're going to have rivalries with Oregon State, Washington State, and USC. I don't want Caleb to fail. The NFL needs quarterbacks to pan out. We don't want to have, Mac Joneses and Trey Lances and and Zach Wilson's. No offense, Matt. Even though you guys got him on, Denver for pretty much nothing. But we want to see quarterbacks succeed. I don't want to see all these guys fail. But it shows you how difficult it is to succeed. On the NFL level, it's going to be very hard. And also, too, if the team that you go to isn't very good, sometimes the confidence in the player goes away, rather quickly. So hopefully he's got the right people in his corner if the Chicago Bears do select him number 1 overall, which I assume that will happen. So, and then we'll see if Jaden Daniels goes to the Commandos, Drake May goes to New England, and then we'll see if J.J. McCarthy ends up wherever, and then obviously with Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. as well. Can't wait, man. This draft, it feels like it's been forever since the Super Bowl, but we're here. I 100% agree with this too. Like I said, we love everyone that represents our teams when they're our team. It's like a gang. It's like if they're on the Kraken, I don't care, good, bad, struggling. We root for, the guys that are on the team. But when you end up losing games over and over and over again and the consistency isn't there, from guys that we need every night, like Matty Beniers, Oliver Bjorkstrand, Jared McCann, that was a big reason why we didn't make the playoffs, between those 3 guys not being as consistent the year before when we did make the playoffs, and our play in net wasn't as good either. So we obviously need, Grubauer and, Decord to be, more on point as well. And then also the other role players need to be better too. So there's a combination of things that need to happen. Same thing with the Mariners. It's like you need Julio and JP and Ty France and all the guys that were good when we made the playoffs. We need to have that same kind of consistency. But again, it shows you how hard it is to be consistency, to have the consistency, in professional sports. It's difficult. That's what really separates the average to the good, to the great, to the elites. All right, let's go here in the second period, baby. 3-2, Vegas. Let's go. Well, I got a chance to squeeze those in. Can't believe. Oh, baby, Golden Knights with another one. Oh, my gosh. Someone needs to get pulled, and that's the problem for Dallas. They got enough goal scoring with their players, but Ottinger, sometimes good. But again, when you go against Vegas, if you don't got your head on a swivel, they have so many players that can score goals for them. And just like that, right out of the gates, wow, unbelievable. Brayden McNabb with the slap shot, assisted by Captain Jack Eichel. Ottinger, you got to go, bud. You got to go. Wow. I mean, especially if you're going to get Dallas putting up 2-3 goals in the first period. I mean, it's like Vegas is pacing for like 10. My goodness. McNabb, I see you, Brayden. Only 4 goals during the regular season for Brayden McNabb, but he's like, you know what? I want to get on the action as well. Pull up a photo for him for Vegas. I knew this would be a good matchup to do. Perfect for the Mariners to have a day off, and then I can enjoy hockey like this. I knew this wasn't going to be a 0-0 game or a 1-0 game. No way in hell. Fourth career playoff goal. scoring right out of the gates. 11 shots on goal for Dallas, 2 goals, but they had 3. 1 got taken away from offsides. This is crazy. 9 shots on goal for Vegas, and they have 4 goals. That's a problem. And again, if they can play like this, they can win the Stanley Cup again. But again, you're not going to be able to, have easy pickings against Ottinger every series moving forward. But it definitely shows you, for anybody that's counting Vegas out, that they can't do it, they won't do it. I mean, this should be a big eye-opener to a lot of fans that even though they're not as good as they were last year, that they can still hang with anybody in the NHL, the Vegas Golden Knights. And until they get eliminated, it's their championship to lose since they won it last year. But again, it's not common to go back-to-back. We've had the Penguins and the Lightning in the last 20 years to go back-to-back, so it's not often that you see that, but they got good play in net typically, and they got 7 or 8 deep to score, and that's a good recipe for wins if you're Vegas. You just have to make sure that the play in net, whether it's an Adin Hill or Stevenson, that they play well. Or Thompson, excuse me. $17-11 left in the second period, 4-2 Vegas. Suter, Davinoff, Steele, Lundqvist. And what do we got here on the Vegas side? Pietrangelo, Carrier, Hanifin, Kolesar, and Wah. Got 43 people watching. Shout out to all the people in the room on Twitter/X's, YouTube as well. Love you and appreciate you. 11 shots on goal for the Stars, 10 for Vegas, and we got a 4-2 matchup in the second period. Maybe the most entertaining game in Game 1 in the playoffs so far. Unbelievable. Offsides there. We had 40 to go to hit the goal. Oh, big check into the boards by Vegas. Who was that? Is that Carlson? Most players placed on IR: Sharks 20, Vegas Golden Knights 19, Blackhawks 15, Blue Jackets 15. So that shows you how deep they are. They've had 19 guys placed on IR, and they're still one of the best in the world. Talk about depth. They had the best depth last year, and it showed. And even though they have 19 guys on IR, they're still in the playoffs, and they're still one of the favorites. But if they can have Thompson in net over Adin Hill, I think Adin is kind of like the weak link for them this season. So if they can have Thompson go for more games, that'll benefit Vegas. Less than 16 minutes left here in the second period, 4-2 Vegas. Judah in the building. What's good? Tough game, man. I ended up watching that first game with the Maple Leafs and the Bruins, and you beat them 8 in a row, and they finally got you. Austin Matthews there late in the third period, and it kind of felt like whoever was going to score in those last 8 minutes was going to win, where it was knotted up 2-2. So, you're going to have to get more from Pasta moving forward. But it was a very exciting matchup. Maybe not as exciting as this one with 6 goals. Obviously we had 5 goals in the first period. Technically, we had 6. It was 3-3 at one point for, 2-2. And then they had one called back to interference for Dallas. But 6 goals within the, first 2 periods with 15 minutes to go in the second is pretty amazing. 10 shots on goal for Vegas, 4 goals. Crazy, right? 11 shots on goal, 2 for Dallas, and they had 3, and 1 was offside. So if you're looking for offense, this is the game to watch. It was a pretty brutal loss, but you had to think you're not going to beat the Maple Leafs over and over and over again. At some point, they were going to beat you. It's almost surprising that you beat them 8 in a row going back to last year, especially with a player like Austin Matthews, and a few of the other players that they have on that roster that are pretty solid, and I get it. Boston was very, very good last year, one of the best in the regular season last year as well, and then very good this year, but still, to beat an opponent up that many times in a row was a little shocking when you got a superstar like Connor McDavid, or not Connor McDavid, but with Austin Matthews, on the roster. It's definitely tough to be able to limit his production game in and game out. How are the Kittens doing, Judah? 14 minutes left here in the second period. Suter, Dadonov, Steele, Lundqvist, Marchessault, Barbashev, Eichel, Whitecloud, I see you. I mean, if they didn't have Austin Matthews, right, then beating up on a team, 8 in a row, so be it. But, when you got a guy that's one of the, top 5, top 6 guys overall, Pasta's great too, so we can't discredit that. But when you get, guys like a Connor McDavid, a Pasta, an Austin Matthews, those are guys that can score 1, 2, 3 goals and get 1, 2, 3 assists in a game by themselves, and you can't say that for many guys in the NHL. There's only a handful of guys that you can say that about, so. Yeah, I know, I get it. And momentum is everything. You don't want to be like, oh, look at us, we're fantastic in the regular season, and they get bounced in the first round. So, I get it. You don't want to have like that Dallas Cowboy NFL syndrome where you're amazing during the regular season, but then go to the playoffs and then just can't get it done. So. Their eyes are opening up. Nice. Congratulations on that. Now, what are you planning on doing? Are you keeping them all, or are you going to be able to? Are you trying to give some of them away to families that can handle them? We got a holding call on Whitecloud, I believe. Yeah. Dallas to the power play, and hopefully they can capitalize here. And I haven't got a chance to mention it just yet, but make sure you guys are looking out for your mental health. It's very, very important. Depression, anxiety, addiction. There's many, many things, that we go through on the daily. And, make sure you're looking out for your friends, but make sure you're looking out for yourself as well. And if you feel like you're going down into the gutter, into the darkness, make sure you know what your triggers are. So that way that you can get out of the gutter and get out of the ditch sooner than later, and then get that mental health back on track. Whether that means exercising a little bit more, listening to music every day, going for a walk, spending time with your pets, checking up on friends, making sure that you're keeping up on the latest shows and movies. Just something to look forward to, catching up on your favorite teams. You got to be able to make sure you got things to look forward to make sure that you can get out of the darkness if you're there. And trust me, I've been there. Depression, anxiety, addiction, I've been there, all 3 of them. And it's tough. It's hard to get out. But again, if you know what your triggers are, you're more likely to get out of the darkness than rather ignoring your triggers and then hopefully just hoping that you get out of it sooner than later. Because if you have that mindset and you don't make any changes in your life, it may take a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get out of the gutter rather than maybe 1 or 2, 3 days if you know what your triggers are, and then you can slowly get back on track. Big facts. I'm always going to be a mental health advocate, and I'm always going to make sure that we be an advocate for cats and dogs and pets and what they can do for our mental health. All right, Stars 0 for 1 in the power play so far. Game is on ESPN if you want to watch along. And let's see if Robertson or Pavelski, Rupi Hintz, Jamie Benn, someone's got to step up. Lundqvist, Heiskanen, someone's got to step up here for the Stars. Your trigger is yeah, you had that last year. You don't want it this year. But that one might end up going to the distance. You guys are very evenly matched with that roster. And you got a superstar versus a superstar, Pasta and Matthews. So must-see TV if you're an NHL fan. We got Robertson only has a goal. And I was saying it earlier in the broadcast, if you got guys like Rupee Hintz, Pavleski, and Robertson, you need to make sure that those guys are scoring every game. I felt like last year with the Stars, Robertson was good in the regular season, but he disappeared in the postseason. And Joe did as much as he could, but he can't do it alone. And Rupee Hintz was pretty consistent, but again, with the amount of talent that you have on offense, and as well as your defensemen and your centers and your forwards, Dallas needs to be able to put up more points, get more people involved in each period if they want to be able to get to their dream, which is the Stanley Cup. It's very tough. You got Vegas, you got Colorado, you got many, many quality teams in that Western Conference, as well as the Eastern Conference as well. We got 30 seconds left in the power play here. Odin's son coming through and helping out. Thank you so much, Odin. Odin's son with a tenner. Let's fucking go, baby. Your boy's got a lot of bills, and things get really, really expensive. And when you get paid only once a month, from YouTube, there's a lot of times where you're just hoping that you have enough to be able to pay the bills that are due at that time. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack, bang bang, $10 dono from my boy, the original OG Odin's son. Oh, we got a fight. Are they going to let him scrap? Oh, the refs pulled him away. Let McNabb scrap. Logan Thompson. Let him scrap out there. Let him know. Appreciate you, Odin's son. 30 to go. Uncle Howdy. And I didn't get a chance to watch the AEW pay-per-view, but Bryan Danielson, he put on a show. I need to go and try to find some kind of link to be able to watch that match. All right, we're at the midway point in the second period, 4-2 Vegas. That Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson dream match, man. I need to watch that. And Ospreay is one of the best wrestlers right now in the world, just like Kenny Omega was, but he got hurt. So at least they have someone to kind of take over that role while Kenny Omega is recovering from injury. Ooh, those are fire. All right, no problem. I appreciate you. Take care. Talk soon. Thank you so much for your support. Love you. Appreciate you. Dadanoff, Tanev, Lindell, offsides. Ooh, that's tough. We got 48 people watching. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. Appreciate y'all. You need to get more people on the YouTube side to be able to support, and then on the Twitter/X side. 9:45 left in the second period. 4-2 Golden Knights. Let's go. Get a couple Bray Wyatts up for Odin. Odin always showing love and support. And I appreciate that so much. Especially when you know you got bills that are due or they're going to be overdue and whatnot. It definitely gets a little stressful, but you know, I'm always going to grind and put in, 150% effort, every single time that I'm out here doing the streaming. If I can squeeze in one more for my boy. Got a really dope black and white one here too. The Fiend. Let's go. Rest in peace. One of my favorites and one of Odin's favorites, Bray Wyatt. Odin, you're here. Hit you with the Bray, the Fiend, and a really sweet black and white. How was Monday Night Raw, Ben? Was it good? I like the shirts, man. Those are so dope. Are you gonna buy those? Vegas 4, Dallas 2. We got 9 minutes to go in the second period. And then again, we'll be doing some NHL playoff matchup. So I'll be doing the Mariners, as the primary, and then we'll squeeze in, obviously, the playoffs here on the NHL side, and then we got the NFL draft. So this tonight, then we'll do Mariners Rangers on Tuesday, Mariners Rangers on Wednesday, NFL draft night number 1 on Thursday, NFL draft night number 2 on Friday, and then we'll probably do Mariners on Saturday. I would like to be able to do NASCAR streams again, because it seems like the NASCAR season has been fucking phenomenal. So many amazing, races, and Talladega didn't disappoint with a big wreck on the last lap. And I love racing so much. I find myself watching the trucks and even the Xfinity races. Not all of the Xfinity and truck races, but if I'm bored and I got nothing else going on, I usually will tap in and just see what's going on. So. Nice. Hell yeah, bro. I missed you. How are you doing? How are the mentals doing? Hopefully, I know you've been going through some ups and downs within the last, few weeks. I hope that things are getting a little bit better for you at home or at work or, everything that's going on in your life, my guy. Yeah, Reddick right at the end. Well, Michael McDonald was trying to hold off, and then when he went for the block, I was like, oh shit, that's going to be a wreck. And then he ended up going sideways, and Big Bad Brad Keselowski and a few others thought they were going to be able to, end up getting that win. And Reddick just had too much speed there. And yeah, Reddick was just in the right place at the right time. I'm not sure if he deserved to win that race, but again, that's racing. Sometimes you just got to be in position. And if you can avoid the wrecks in the last couple laps, or the restarts at the end, sometimes you'll have a lucky finish. And then last week we got Napa know-how. We got my guy Chase Elliott with his first win in like a year and a half. So that was cool to see. But I feel like this year, it's always exciting every year, but I feel this year it's been a little bit more exciting and then the past few years, even though every year is exciting for NASCAR. But I feel the finishes have been a little bit more exciting this year to start the season off. And I'm always watching it. Yeah, Dega is awesome, man. I was even telling my mom, bucket list before I die, I got to go to Talladega. There's a few tracks that, I've never even been to a race before in my life, but I would love to be able to go to a couple before I pass, for sure. Like Daytona, duh, Talladega, duh, but there'd be a few others that I would love to be able to see too. You got anything specific that you want to see for photos, my guy? I got you. Whatever you want. You want Chiefs? I saw that they ended up getting Andy Reid the new contract. So if you want me to throw up some Andy Reid for you, I can do that. Good old Big Red. Yeah, maybe one day if I can get the proper support and, we can get, a few rich people to backbone the channel and things are going really, really well, maybe one day that we can both go to Dega together. Wouldn't that be something? Or one of these days, if I can ever get rich, down the road, it'd be cool for you to visit me in Oregon or for me to visit you in New York, where we could actually go to like a wrestling show together or go to like a wrestling con or like a Comic-Con type thing, for like the wrestling signings. That would be something really cool that we could do together, or go to like a Chiefs game together or something like that. So, but again, obviously I got to keep working hard and, you just got to hope that you find the right people that have enough extra money to be able to support my dream. And then hopefully collectively you can have like 10 or 20 of those people. And then once you have 10 or 20 people that are well off, that have money to blow, that can support the dream, then you can actually do things like that. But yeah. Like I said, I love NASCAR. And like I said, I did streaming for it for a couple years, and then last year, the support wasn't there. So I had to drop off from it. But the previous 2 years, I loved it, man. Like, I just need to have enough support to do it. And we have to be able to get enough likes and subs and views and donos to make it worthwhile compared to doing like a Mariner game or baseball or whatever, or NHL or whatever else, the event that's going on for that day. But, believe you me, I've watched every race, for years, and I've watched every race this season. Me and Paisley just sit on the couch or chill in the bedroom, and I watch the race from beginning to end. I don't take breaks from it, so I love it. We got less than 7 minutes to go in the second period. 4-2 Vegas. Suter, Pavleski, Rupi Hintz, Robertson, and Lundqvist. And then what do we got here? Pietrangelo, Carrier, Hannafin, Polisar, and Wah. I get a couple Andy Reids set up here for you. Appreciate your support. You always come through no matter what it is. And, whether it be $1 or $100, every dollar counts. And, you always go out of your way, even, when things are tight or broke. And it might even be like your last $3, but you'll still, show that love. And that doesn't go unrecognized. I understand, with the situation that you're in. And sometimes, you don't have a whole lot of extra, and obviously with other things with, kids and the wifey and everything else that's going on, you definitely look out for me, and that does not go unrecognized. And, I really do appreciate that love and support that you're going to have for me forever. It's not going to be a temporary thing like some of these people, where they come and then they go and then they never come back. You're always going to be there. And I really do appreciate that about you. You're loyal to the soil, man. 100%. And that's never going to change for me either. So loyalty is hard to find nowadays. Appreciate you, my guy. Shout out to Andy Reid for getting that new deal. And they're trying to go for that three-peat, baby. Got one more for you. And, I understand not every single person is in the same financial bucket as everyone else. Some people have better paying jobs than others. Sometimes people end up losing their jobs or they transition and have to go to a new job. I get it. But all I want to do is to be able to give 150% on everything that I do. All the sacrifice, that I made with the Jordan rookie and all the hard work that I put in to have a partner quit, having to reinvent myself over and over and over the years, and I just want to be able to do this, as my dream for the rest of my life. So And I like I said, it's never to be about being famous or being rich. I wanted just to be able to help people and to have enough to be able to take care of Paisley and pay my bills and to make a difference in people's lives. Help people out with mental health, and then obviously if donos get better, be able to help people financially if I can too. It's awesome, bro. Do you like it? It's really good, dude. Like I said, out of all the new shows, Fallout, awesome, 10 out of 10. Shogun, 10 out of 10. X-Men 97, 10 out of 10. So it's like if you like, a video game series, it might be one of the best of all time. If you like to be able to see, like the kind of corruption and craziness that Japan was at with the shoguns, back in the 1600s, fantastic show with a lot of battles and craziness. And then if you love cartoons, and it's based off the X-Men cartoon that was one of the best in the 90s, X-Men 97 is on Disney Plus, and that adaptation is awesome. So, it's not often that you have 3 awesome shows that are on all at the same time. And obviously I try to, take advantage of those all the time as well. I appreciate you, and like I said, I always understand where you're at, because I feel that we're close and we talk, and you got a lot of bills and you got a lot of other people that you need to take care of. But even with that being said, when other people would turn their back or, go do other things, you're always in the loop with me, and like I said, you were the first one, and it's not going to be the last. You're always going to be there, and that really does make me feel good, because like I said, we've had some people come and go, and I can always count on us to be there for the distance, and it means everything. So I really do appreciate even to your last dollar, your last 50 cents, your last $3, but again, it's like $3 to go get like a cheeseburger, or $3 to give to O-Dog so he can get maybe a toy for Paisley. So, and you understand that, so sometimes even sacrificing a little bit of joy for yourself to get like go to the dispensary or to go get some food. But if you know that I'm broke or like I really need it, and then you end up going out of your way to be able to help me out or help Paisley out, that really goes to the heart, and it really makes me feel happy that I got someone like you in my corner. So I appreciate you, man, very much. I think that appreciation is mutual because we understand each other, and we got a lot in common. We're both around the same age. We grew up on the same stuff. We both like the same things. So I love you, man. Appreciate you. We had 70. We got 30 to go to hit the goal. 4-2 Golden Knights. We got 3:44 left in the second period. That is a good question. Who follows you on Twitter/X? Did you get a new follow from like a famous person or something? I mean, I got a few celebrities that follow me on socials and whatnot. John Cena and a few others, but and I'm really happy that we actually got some support today because doing the Mariner games and whatnot, sometimes we'll get the support, sometimes not. But then I haven't done an NHL matchup in a few weeks. Since the Kraken got eliminated from the playoffs. So I was just hoping that people would support and show some love, but again, on the back of my mind, I was thinking, man, this might be a tough night. Hopefully we don't get a 0. And I'm really happy that people came through, and Focus is, one of the newbies too, and came through with a 50. So that's always good when you get, newbies coming through and supporting with that type of love and support, and making sure that me and Paisley can be okay. So. Suter, Pavleski, Hintz, Robertson, Lundqvist, Ottinger still in net, starting to calm down. McNabb, Theodore, Carrier, Colasar, and Waugh. Less than 3 minutes to go in the second period, 4-2 Vegas. And I had to hit you with the Dallas downtown area scenery. Turned out good. I like doing the thumbs, even though it takes a long time to do them, because it kind of shows kind of my artistic ability, to create thumbs, and you can kind of show your personality with it too. Fantasy Source? First Down XOs? Please do. Send me some links. Anything wrestling or football related or, whatever it may be. Yeah. Like I said, I always will pay attention to the links that the fans or friends will send me. I wish I got a chance to watch that Will Ospreay Bryan Danielson match. Did you get to see a chance, Odin, to see the highlights at least of that match? I mean, everyone wants to talk about, WrestleMania and WWE and Cody finishing the story. But even though AEW has fallen back in the ratings and they don't have all their stars healthy, Ospreay is still one of the best in the world, as is, Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan. And I heard that they just blew the roof off. And too bad they don't get as much press as WWE because, I would love to be able to watch that match, and hopefully someone will, I'll be able to find it somewhere, and I'll be able to rewatch it, on social somewhere, but at some point or another. But I haven't, had a feeling of damn, I need to watch this for a match, in a pay-per-view that I didn't pay for, in a minute. But that one I definitely need to see. And I saw a 2-minute highlight and I was like, oh my God, this is totally ECW, my type of vibe, hardcore, fast-paced wrestling with a lot of athleticism and crazy moves. That's the type of wrestling that I enjoy the most. All right, we've got less than a minute to go in the second period. Dadonov, Steele, Heiskanen, Harley, Pietrangelo, Carlson, Hanathan, Howden. Nice save. Yeah, I heard it was great too. Yeah, AEW, WWE crossover would be cool. Or if they ended up doing a AEW invasion, and they had some, people show up and whatnot. I mean, obviously having it be, a crossover event where you have someone wrestling from that promotion going against someone in WWE, even if it's only for a pay-per-view. But, if you really want to get ratings going for both, it would be kind of cool to see WWE wrestlers invade AEW and AEW wrestlers invade WWE. But it has to be the best of the best. It just can't be mid-card guys or scrubs. It has to be, or jobbers. It has to be the elite guys, That would be awesome. That would create a big buzz for both promotions. I mean, WWE doesn't need it, but AEW could use a little help. Oh, big check off the boards. 18 shots on goal for the Stars, 11 for Vegas. 4-2 Vegas with 4 seconds left in the second period. Odin, did you end up watching the Garcia fight? Are you a fan of boxing? I know you do the bare knuckle boxing and you like UFC from time to time. Did you end up watching that Garcia fight at all? I ended up watching that whole fight. It was money. I don't get excited about boxing that often, but it depends on who's in it. Just like UFC. If it ends up having someone that I like, yeah, I'll definitely end up watching. And also, too, when, boxing matches end up going all 12 rounds, that's what makes it even better. Yeah, but Garcia, it's a lot of fake shit. It's all for trolling and social media. Drinking every day, acting crazy on social media, thinking that he doesn't care, after, he lost the fight last year to Tank, and then came in focused, fast, and ended up beating the shit, out of the opponent. So, yeah, string quartet in the locker room. Well, a lot of times, the things that he does on socials is just for social media, and obviously I think a lot of people were stunned, because they just thought, oh, this guy's just drunk, being a character and just being crazy, but he's always focused. It's Ryan Garcia, man. A guy has a legacy on the line. He's not going to take it not seriously, And I knew he was going to win that fight, even though he didn't. He was 3 pounds overweight, so he wasn't able to get the belt, but I knew he was going to win that fight. Should have bet on it, but I don't really bet. All right, end of the second period, 4-2 Golden Knights. Let me know what you guys want to do for photos. Odin, Matt, Judah, if you guys got anybody that you want for photos, just type in the chat. Obviously, that'll cover some ground as we wait for the third period start. So whatever you guys want for photos, let me know. Yeah, Iron Mike. So we had 3 goals from Vegas in the first period, 1 in the second, 2 goals from Dallas. They had a third, but it got called back to an offsides, and then a very kind of lackluster second period. And now they're down 2 goals, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to come back, because again, you're going to need to score 2, but then you're going to have to prevent them from scoring 1 or 2 in the third, and I don't know if that's possible. Oilers up 3-0. Kings are outmatched in that series. And Mark Stone coming back, from the spleen injury and ending up getting the first goal. Kind of fitting, for Vegas, and they've had so many injuries on IR, 19, second most, and they're still one of the best teams, in the NHL. And they won the Stanley Cup last year. Not sure if they have, the team this year to do it, but, they're showing that they can hang with anybody. And they have Dallas's number too. So much depth for the Vegas Golden Knights. But a big part of them is, the play in net. As long as Adin Hill, isn't in there every single game, and they got Thompson in there, the better goalie, that puts them in a better position moving forward. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. Like, sub, donate, comment, share, help your boy out. Hopefully we can get at least to 10 likes, 10 to 15 on the stream, since we have most of the people that are watching on Twitter/X. We need one more to get to 10. There we go. We just got to it. Appreciate y'all. And then if we can get to 15, that'll be great. Got 50 people watching, most of them on Twitter/X. Hopefully the people on YouTube can show some more love. Congratulations to Andy Reid, making sure that he gets the bag. Zach Wilson going to Denver. I'm not sure if I like that move for you, Matt, but, we'll see where it goes. Tyson and Paul, yeah. How do you think that's going to play out? You think it's going to be rigged? Or, how do you think that's going to go? And they're only going to be doing, 3 rounds? Or whatever, 3 5-minute rounds. So it's not really a real fight. It's just promotional fight, I believe, right? Or are they going to actually make it longer than that? I mean, Tyson's, still in pretty good shape for being an old guy, but yeah. But you can praise someone all you want in the draft, but at the end of the day, you have to watch film. And if you don't watch enough film, you're going to end up evaluating wrong. And Zach Wilson isn't a good quarterback. Like I said, there's potential for him to be a backup, second or third string, but there's no way in hell that he's going to ever live up to being picked second overall. Like I said, Trevor Lawrence, he was the number 1 pick. Zach Wilson kind of was a flop. Trey Lance never really got to play. Mac Jones was a flop as well. And then the only other quarterback in that draft class that was kind of something was, Justin Fields, right? And then obviously Brock Purdy being the last pick and Mr. Irrelevant. But I don't think, even if you put Zach Wilson on the Niners, that's not going to be good enough to be able to lead them to a Super Bowl or a playoff run. It's just the bottom line. When you're a kid that, maybe grew up and maybe in a entitled life, and then you end up going to BYU, and then the spotlight might be a little bit too big for you. There's going to be certain players that want it and certain players that don't want it. And there's certain players that get paid and certain players that, it's going to be more about me than the team. And, like I said, Sean Payton might be able to get him to be better than what he was in New York, but you're never going to see Zach Wilson as a starter in this league ever again. It's not going to happen. So unless, you end up drafting Bo Nix, he gets hurt, and then depending on who's on the roster between Zach and a few others, then he might be able to get in there and play as a backup quarterback. But, I mean, like I said, that's just being real. He lacks a lot of skills. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, he can throw a good football, but he doesn't have what it takes to be a starter in this league. Yeah, but he hasn't shown anything on the field that he could actually be, like one of the top, 12 quarterbacks in this league, or even top 16. He hasn't shown flashes like Justin Fields. And again, like the Jets have pieces. It's not like they don't have Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall and an amazing defense. There's no excuse. Like I said, he had opportunities to be able to show, but again, if Aaron Rodgers was playing for the Jets, they would have made the playoffs. Maybe they would have overachieved and made the AFC Championship game. I don't know if the Jets were good enough to make the Super Bowl last year, but again, a healthy Aaron Rodgers, would have been able to get them to the playoffs 100%. They would have won 10, 11, 12 games with Aaron Rodgers. And I'm not even an Aaron Rodgers guy, so. Not every quarterback, running back, wide receiver that does good in college is going to pan out on the end of it. It's a man's game, man. It's different. It's like LaMichael James and DeAnthony Thomas. I love those guys, but they failed in the NFL. You know what I mean? And I'm a Duck fan saying that, but they did. Marcus Mariota didn't pan out. You know what I mean? He's got, an injury bug, so it's like you can have guys that even win the Heisman like Mariota, right? And you can be a legend in the college game or in high school and Pop Warner, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Dan Marino, John Elway. It's like you can still be a legend in high school and college, but to be a legend in the pros is a whole nother ballgame. Yeah. Yeah, Brady ain't coming back. Plus, he's got team ownership, so he ain't coming back. He's done. Of course, he can always tease it in interviews, like, "Oh yeah, if someone would call me," But again, if he was going to go to a team, it'd be like, "Oh, Brock Purdy goes down for an injury," and then, "Oh, Tom Brady to the Niners," something like that. Then you might be able to have a chance where you could actually do something. But like in that interview, he's like, "Oh, maybe I would play for Raiders," or like, why the hell would he go to the Raiders? You put Tom Brady on the Raiders, he's just going to fucking get hurt. The offensive line doesn't even exist there. So. Yeah, Zach Wilson, Jarrett Stidham, and Ben DiNucci, not the best room, And again, you're going to start to see flashes out of Wilson, flashes out of Stidham, flashes out of DiNucci, but, you better hope that they draft Bo Nix. I don't know if I would use the word dope with those four guys. Now, Bo Nix, dope. The other three, I don't know if I would say dope for those. I'm not sure if and this is just me being honest, I don't think I would want to roster any of those three players that you have. I wouldn't roster Wilson, Stidham, or DiNucci. Again, there's going to be, other guys available, and if you have no other option, fine. But I'm not sure, if I would want any of those three as my second or third string. Just being honest. All right, man. I love you, and I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you for sending me some links. And thank you for your support, man. I appreciate you very, very much. Uncle Howdy, let's check this out. Well, I'm going to. Oh, I will. Hey, I love you and appreciate you. I hope things get a little bit better, for you. And anytime if you feel that you're sliding a little bit and struggling a little bit, don't fucking hesitate to message me. You have to even talk to me, call me, message me. Make sure that you have me as a resource no matter what. The only time that I won't respond is if I'm sleeping, but I usually am up pretty late. So now, after I'm done with the stream and everything, I'll try to get in there and try to watch a little bit. Appreciate you, Odin. OG, the first person to believe in O-Doggy Dog and donate big back in the day when others wouldn't. So love you, man. All right, I'm going to squeeze in some Tay-Tay here for you, Matt, now, because I'm not sure. I'm going to have to eat dinner and take Paisley for a walk. So I probably will end the stream as soon as the game is over. It's already 8:39 now. So I'm going to throw some photos up for you now. So that way we'll get that for you. Eminem and Roger Goodell. That's good. Tell your girl to grow her hair out. She looks so much better. Not that she looks bad with shorter hair, but I'm just saying I just think she looks cuter with longer hair. If I can squeeze one more in here for you. All right, wait, one more. I'm trying to squeeze some new ones in for you too. Like, what's better than the Oregon Ducks? And a little Tay-Tay for you. There you go. Appreciate you, man. Anything that you want to see, Judah, photo-wise, before we get started here in the third period? You want some pasta photos? You got anything specific that you want to see? Just let me know. You know, anytime, anything I can do to, you know, kill some time and throw up some photos of things that you love. Great choice. You got a particular place in nature that you want to, like, what do you got, something specific? Like, what are we talking, like lakes, you know, mountains, somewhere close to where you live? Massachusetts scenery? Some Boston scenery. I got some your neck of the woods type of stuff here. Let me see here. I'm all about that mental health. So important, man. I'm gonna go Boston greenery, Massachusetts park. I'm gonna go all over Massachusetts scenery. Being around water or looking at water, you know, listening to music, being around pets, like, you know, those little things that you can do, you know, can really make a difference. Like, one thing that most people don't know about me, I listen to 60s music like all day because, like, you know, with my family and whatnot. And you wouldn't think that would be on, but it's on pretty much all day, and you would be surprised, like when you have music on all day long, it really does change you, and your mental health overall. And I love being able to listen to oldies and whatnot, like when music was actually really good. Some music nowadays, is decent, and some is kind of just, garbage. But, back in the day, 60s, 70s, 80s, you definitely get a different type of vibe of music in that generation. Especially in the 60s, though. Gloucester. I got a really good one here in Mass. This one is a very good on the eyes. Easy on the eyes. Normally females get that compliment, but ooh, like take me there, man. Shep in the building. What's good, brother? How's your mental health? How you doing? Hopefully you're doing all right. We miss you. Hey, I saw that sub, because I'm always looking at, socials and whatnot. That sub looked delicious, bro. I mean, I'm on a diet now, so, going from 270 to 188 now. I'm dropping weight, pounds left and right and whatnot, so. But I always can live vicariously through you guys when I see people posting, on food. Ooh, I got a really nice sunset little photo here also. Judah will like this one too. Let's go. That's good for the mental health. And again, if you are struggling with mental health, make sure addiction, depression, anxiety, a lot of us are going through these problems on the daily. Make sure that, you're going out of your way when those triggers are being hit. Listen to music, exercise, change your diet, check up on friends. There's a lot of things that you can do. Make sure you're spending time with pets if you can. You have to make sure you're making time for yourself, so that way your mental health can be clear and you can be in a good mood. Facts. No problem. I got you. I haven't had a sub sandwich, and I can't even tell you how long. But hopefully you enjoyed those photos, Judah. I know I did. It's just like, the main reason that I, watch throwback cartoons from the 80s and 90s every night. Every night I make sure, when me and Paisley are just chilling, that I watch Transformers, Season 1, Generation 1, episode, whatever. I'm always watching stuff, Transformers, Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, The Real American Hero, Batman, the animated series, X-Men, and then if I already watched those, maybe X-Men 97 on Disney+. I'm always making sure, Bob's Burgers, Simpsons, Family Guy, Rick and Morty, just something that I know that's going to put me in a good mood. And if you make sure you have good, structure in your life, that can help. So Reflect in the building. What's good? Reflect is coming through. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack, bang, bang, 30, dollar holla. Did you end up reading the Michael Penix Jr. Note that he sent to all 32 teams? And obviously, it's very powerful. People are always questioning, Michael Penix Jr. with the injuries, and then him pretty much saying, I would be, worried if I didn't have an injury. And again, like I said, there's only one player that got visited by all 32 teams, Bo Nix, but I still feel that Michael Penix Jr. is going to be the best quarterback in this draft, and there's a number of reasons why. But if you end up reading that article, I don't know if you got a chance to read it or look for it, but I would highly recommend it. And it was penned by Michael Penix Jr. himself, and it's a very powerful message to teams, and it'll be very interesting to see how high Bo Nix and Penix Jr. go. They may not go 5th and 6th overall at quarterback. They may end up being the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th quarterback taken off the board, and they may go as high as, who knows, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like, I wouldn't be shocked either way if they get picked 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and teams take a chance, and then, Daniels or May or McCarthy slide a little bit. Or if these dumb teams want to pick those guys ahead of them, and then Nix falls to Denver and Penix Jr. goes to the Rams or Minnesota, I think that those would be the two best fits for Penix Jr., the Rams or Minnesota Vikings, and then Bo Nix going to Denver would be an ideal fit with Peyton. So thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. And I was a little worried doing this hockey stream. I was like, fuck, I hope we end up getting at least some support. And luckily, we ended up getting some support, and Focus came in and dropped a 50 too, one of our newbies. So that definitely fucking helped. And Megan dropped a tenner, and then now we got Reflect in here. So I can't do this channel full time without the people that are supporting. So I really do appreciate it. I only get paid once a month, and it really feels good. And I've been really diligent, because when we ended up having a couple years ago really, really good support, where we had 10 to 15 people at any point that would drop 50 to 100, and things were good. But the thing is when you end up making money like that, taxes are high, and then it put me in a position last year where I made probably a third or a fourth of what I made the previous year, right? And then to have to owe, like $5,000+ and you're not making the same amount of money that you were, that shit stressed me the fuck out, because it's like, if you got rent to pay and then you still got this big amount of money that you owe, how the hell am I going to be able to pay rent and bills and pay back money that I can't pay back? But, I ended up breaking up, with the ex-girlfriend that was toxic. I moved back home, so that way I could end up, getting things squared away. And with me being really diligent and grinding, I finally ended up, getting squared away, with the tax situation from 2022, where I ended up owing, $5-6 grand, with like state and federal. And I ended up making my last payment today, of like 400. So it's like pretty much every month, as all the money that I was making from YouTube pretty much went straight to that, so I pretty much have had no money for myself for over a year, but at least now, I feel that I'm caught up and I don't have that stress lingering over my shoulder, and then at this point, I can move forward and, I can start saving up for a car, since my car broke down and I haven't had a car for over a year and a half, and then also being able to save up that if I end up, moving out, that I'll be able to hopefully have some money saved up at that point if I can end up doing that. But let me tell you, man, when you end up getting all that kind of love and support, and then you end up making, next to nothing the following year, it definitely hurt, a lot, but it took a long time, almost a year to pretty much almost every dollar that I made, I made sure I was responsible, and, I didn't really do anything fun for myself. I didn't buy anything for myself, but at least now that I'm in the clear, so that makes me feel good. Reflect with a 30. Appreciate you, my guy. Oh, 2-foot sub sandwiches. That's a dream come true. Soto in the building. What's good? He is a leader of men. And again, I'm a Duck fan, but I'm not biased. And again, Michael Penix Jr. and Bo Nix are 24, going to be 24. So again, there's some, quarterbacks that are in the NFL that are around that same age that have already been in the league for a couple years and failed, so some people are going to be concerning, like, well, they might be old, but their experience, though, it's much better than Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. being 20. So I feel that, if you actually watch the games and you're not a Pac-12 hater, that it'll be very clear to see as these guys go in that if they get in the right situation, I feel more comfortable with Nix and Penix than I do any other quarterback in the draft. So I figured you did. I was going to send it to you if you didn't. Real leader of men. And I'll be definitely rooting for both of those guys to succeed. Yeah, we got Rangers. So tomorrow, Mariners, Rangers. God bless Jonathan Clase bringing that heat and that energy in our pitching staff. We'll be doing Mariners Rangers tomorrow, Mariners Rangers Wednesday, NFL Draft on Thursday, day 1. First round. Then we'll do NFL Draft on Friday, rounds 2 and 3, and then I'll do the Diamondbacks. My friend is going with his dad. My boy Justin, one of my best friends, is going up with his dad because I can't go. Because for our birthdays, we normally would get an expensive hotel and we would go to 2 games for the Mariners. And we did that for many, many years in a row. But now my situation is different with financially and also having Paisley here. So I told him to take his dad, and they're going to go see the Diamondbacks for a 2-game set, coming up here at the end of the week towards the weekend. And I'm super excited for him. And it'll be a chance to see Corbin Carroll in person and Eugenio Suarez. So I'm super excited for my friend Justin and his father. Yeah, I had to send you. I'm gonna always send you stats. I send them to you and I send them to Justin because I'm always reading. So, because besides Justin and you, I feel like us 3 are probably the most hardcore, that are on the channel that represent. So. All right, we're in the third period. We got 14 minutes left in the third, 4-2 Vegas. And this one came out of the gates on fire. I mean, we had 3 goals for Vegas, 3 goals for Dallas, but 1 got taken away due to interference. And then obviously just 1 goal for Vegas, nothing for Dallas in the second period. But God bless you guys, man. Like, I was really scared thinking, shit, I haven't done an NHL stream in a few weeks. And normally I do Kraken, but I was thinking, fuck, I hope that we don't have a 0, because, again, I only get paid once a month, from the tube. And when you have bills coming in, throughout the month, you have to get something through like Venmo or Cash App or you're fucked. So, and literally like 99% of my money for the last year has been going to pay off all that fucking debt, and stuff, because I didn't want to, get in trouble, with the governments, and whatnot. But again, if they were going to end up taking money for me, what money are they going to take? I wasn't making enough money for them to take. So it's like, oh, we're going to garnish your wage, but I didn't have enough for them to garnish. It's like pretty much everything that I got, I gave them. So, and that was a big reason why I think that they didn't garnish me or try to penalize me, because I mean, I pretty much did everything on my own. I tried to do the best that I could with what I had, and 99% of that money was going there. So it's been a long road, man. Like I said, I've been struggling for, over a year, and it just feels good to get that done. And the Oregon kicker helped out, obviously, this year too. So, and then I'm only going to owe a little bit, for federal for this year, so it'll be like maybe 1 month worth of grinding on YouTube, and then I will have nothing to worry about. Then I can start saving up for an apartment or a car, and just getting things kind of caught up in my life. But I mean, I didn't expect to be at, X dollar amount a couple of years ago, and then all of a sudden, half of the goats disappear, and then, heavy hitters, either pass away or lose their jobs. And then all of a sudden I'm making like a third or a fourth of what I made the year before. And then, because they don't take any taxes out. So pretty much it's like at the end of the year, you have to pay based on what you made. So if you're making the same amount of money every month, you're fine. But if you go from making, $1,000 to $2,000 a month, and then you go from that to like 500 or less, you're fucked, and that's kind of the situation that I was in, very, very nervous, feeling and whatnot. But again, I got dreams and I got goals, and I'm going to keep grinding it out. And, I'm just happy that I was able to get through that tough, part of my life, which was probably one of the most stressful points, in my life, and that's why I have to grind pretty much fucking 7 days a week. And I'm grinding pretty much 30 days a month, I can't really take days off that often. So, but hopefully we can get more heavy hitters and goats to come through and replace some of the other ones. And then we can get back to where we were a couple years ago, so that way I can start giving back, to the fans, and, doing special giveaways and whatnot. Cause that's one thing that I really missed doing last year, but I couldn't do it. I mean, I was barely surviving on my own. So 23 shots on goal for the Stars, 14 for Vegas. But again, you have to have the discipline. And if you have the discipline and the talent and the grind, you can make it through anything. Less than 10 minutes to go in the third period. Dallas needs 2 goals to catch up here. Ben, Lindell, Harley, Stankoven, and Johnston, McNabb, Carlson, Theodore, and Howden. They're kind of going through the motions here in these last 2 periods after coming out of the floodgates with 6 goals in the first, and then 1 got taken away. What's the score of the Laker-Nugget game? I don't know if anyone's going to end up beating the Nuggets this year. If Joker doesn't get hurt, they might go back-to-back. We got a penalty. I mean, even as good as Boston is, they don't got anybody to guard the Joker. Porzingis can't play fucking defense. You can't expect, Jaylen Brown or Tatum to guard him. So it's like if they don't have any injuries, I find it highly unlikely anyone beating Denver this year again. It seems like this might be the beginning of a little mini dynasty for them. So, I mean, OKC, obviously was good this year. But again, when it comes to playoff experience, it's one thing to be good in the regular season, and it's a different thing to be good in the postseason. And Giannis is hurt, so that fucked game over. And how the hell are you going to score like 35 points in the first half and then 0 in the second? I don't think Dame is a very good fit for Milwaukee. And I don't think he's very happy there. He can say that, he likes being there because you have to say that. And I'm not saying that he'd be happier in Portland because the Blazers are one of the worst teams in basketball now without him. We're like one of the bottom 3. But maybe going to Miami would have suited him better, playing with like Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. But we'll see how it goes in the playoffs. Celtics have probably, one of the best chances, but again, the only thing I worry about them is their defense depth. You might be able to come out in the East, but I don't think you're going to be able to compete with Denver unless they have an injury. But it's cool to see, Boston, playing like a first-place team in the East. But it looked like kind of the Eastern Conference was a little weaker than the West, and it's kind of been that way for the last couple of years. Like, you're going to have a couple teams up there that are going to show flashes, or you're going to have a surprise team. Like a couple of years ago, you had Miami, and they surprised people, and then Boston is kind of the team with Milwaukee every year. You assume it's going to be, Giannis and Dame, or Tatum and Brown, and they added Porzingis. But again, defense, and also depth, and also having guys come off the bench. And that's the thing I worry about in the Eastern Conference. I might not watch every single game, but I'm still paying attention to what's going on in the NBA. So, and if you don't have great defensive players, there's no way in hell you're going to end up winning in the finals against a team that's got superstars like the Joker. So, all right, we got less than 9 minutes to go in the third period. How many games, Shep, have you been watching of the Braves? Have you been keeping up with every Brave game as much as you can while your work schedule has been pretty hectic? Have you been watching a lot and keeping up? 23 shots on goal for the Stars, 14 for the Vegas Golden Knights. That's crazy. Vegas has 14 shots, only 14, and they have 4 goals. And all of them pretty much happened in the first period and the beginning of the second. But the offensive firepower has kind of died down. The goalies are starting to kind of settle in net. But I'm not sure if Dallas is going to be able to come back. 79-69 Lakers. Reflect, anything that you want to see for photos with your dono? Now, what happens, Reflect, if Michael Penix Jr. goes to the Rams? Are you going to hate that, for being like a Seahawks fan and having to see him in the division? Because I think, that would actually probably be the best fit. Obviously with the Vikings, if they get an O-line and they get a defense, that would be a good fit. But, I mean, if we're talking about going into a team right away, the Rams got a better team than Minnesota, based on Puka and, Kyron and McVay. And, even though they don't got Aaron Donald anymore, I get that. But Minnesota's defense is shit. Their O-line is terrible. They got Jetta, they got Addison, and they got Hawkinson. They don't got a running back. Dalvin Cook left. Madison isn't very good, and, they won't have him there. So besides Jetta, Addison, and Hawkinson, what else do the Vikings really have? You know what I'm saying? They got those 3 guys, but what else? So, I mean, you're going to be able to throw to those guys once in a while, but if the O-line doesn't protect, he's going to throw a lot of picks. Penix, oh, what a goal by the Stars, and he'll get sacked. So I feel like the Rams would probably be the best fit, and he would be able to get mentored better, because Kevin O'Connell obviously came from McVay, so they know each other. But McVay mentoring Penix would be better than O'Connell mentoring him, in my opinion. So nice goal by the Stars right there. Mason Marchment, baby. There we go, Dallas. Dallas gaining a little momentum here. But it's all going to be up to Ottinger if he can hold steady in net. Mason Marchment, I see you, baby. 4-3, Vegas. Crowd is super into it now. So what do you think is going to happen, Reflect, for Seattle? Of course, now you're starting to get, more and more, people, thinking that maybe Penix could, go to the Seahawks. But, there's so many more needs that you would need, and you already have Geno there. So it would be like, drafting like Brock Bowers or Michael Penix Jr. on Seattle would be, sexy, but it's not what you need. It's like there's so many more glaring needs, on the O-line and the D-line that it's like, if the O-line and the D-line, were more steady, then you go that route, but since they're not, it would be kind of a dumb thing to do, based on all the other needs that you have, Wow. That's crazy. Are you surprised Ozuna is doing so good to start off the year? I imagine everyone in Atlanta is surprised that was the player that's kind of leading the way. Yeah. Yeah, your Braves are good. We got Rangers, we got Diamondbacks, and then I can't wait to play against you guys so we can see Kelenic and see how we match up to the Atlanta Braves, And I feel that the Mariners are starting to turn the corner. And again, a lot of Mariners fans over-exaggerate when the record is bad because they base it comparing it to themselves. What you got to do is compare the record to everyone else in the division. So if the Rangers are asked to, we're in a good spot. We just have to keep up with the Rangers and the Stros and the Angels and the Athletics. And obviously the Stros are terrible. So as long as we're right there with the Rangers, we're fine. Now, if we fall below, the Angels and the A's and the Astros, then we're in fucking trouble. But if we're right there, second place, right behind the Rangers, sometimes in first, sometimes in second, maybe drop to third, go back to second, we're fine. But again, that's the difference between like an occasional Mariner fan and a hardcore one. You have to be able to look at it long term, not short term. So, right. Ty France doesn't have a home run either. So Ty France is ice cold, and Julio is the biggest name that had the most home runs, 32, that doesn't have a home run. But there's also a list of another 4 or 5 guys that had 20 home runs or more, not as many as Julio, 32, but those guys haven't homered either. So, I'm not trying to make excuses for Julio, but on the flip side, maybe his power is gone, but the hitting is up. So at least he's going like 4 for 4, 4 for 5. He's getting a couple doubles, 2 for 4. So eventually the home runs are going to come. But the reality is maybe instead of hitting 32 to 40 home runs, maybe he'll only hit, 15 to 22. But if we end up making the playoffs, who cares? And then maybe in the postseason he can get hot then. So a little disappointing if you're a Julio fan because you want him to go 40-40 and try to be like Acuna. You want to be like the big boys. But if his home runs go from, 32 down to 22 or 20 or 18 or 19, it's a disappointment. But if his batting average is 300 and he's got 20 homers, we'll live with that. As long as we're winning games and he's getting RBIs and getting on base and not fucking striking out so much, right? So you got to take the good and the bad, and we have to be able to keep an open mind, and I know you do. So Yeah. And our pitching is starting to, get better. But again, the number one reason that we're sparking right now, Jonathan Clase. As soon as we brought him up, we swept the Reds. We should have swept the fucking Rockies. And now we got, the fucking Rangers and the Diamondbacks. It will be tough, but I feel the confidence is getting pretty good. And then once Ty France and Julio start homering, everyone is starting to get going. So. Yeah, we just got exactly. See, that's why you and me are on the same page with like teams, with like Seahawks and Mariners and anything that we talk about. Some people are going to be biased and they're going to listen to others, on other, social media, other channels, and people piggyback of other people's opinions. But you read, you watch. I read, I watch, and I'm going to make my own opinion. I don't let anyone else dictate what I see, and I feel that's why you and me are, fantasy gurus as well, because we see the game differently than others, and a lot of people in the room are that way, like Matt with the play calling. Shep, he's got it as well, but, not every person that watches games is created equal. Like, you can, be in a room with 10 people, and we can all be watching the same game, but that doesn't mean that every person comprehends what they're seeing the same way, and I think that is a thing that not everyone understands. Like, oh, I watch every game, but what are you watching? Are you watching the O-line? Are you watching guys pull? Are you watching the defense? Are you just following the quarterback? Like, what are you watching? It's like, so just because 10 people are in the room watching the same game doesn't mean they're watching the same thing while we're watching the game. Facts. Yeah, Strider is out for the year with the Tommy John, but how are the rest of the pitching staff doing? I haven't got a chance to watch a lot of Braves games just yet, but I try to tap in once in a while, if I see them on, to see how they're doing. And, most of the time they're going to be kicking everyone's ass, Braves, Dodgers, they're going to be beating up on a lot of teams. And even if pitching is off a little bit, those teams have so many good hitters that they can get to 5 to 8 runs almost every fucking game. So that helps. Nice. So is Max Fried? He's number one now since Strider's out, correct? Is he your in your one hole now, starter? So Mariners, Rangers tomorrow in the stream. I'm gonna look at the times of everything here. That way I can get Matt a little heads up since we're on the stream now. All right, so tomorrow's stream will be Mariners, Rangers at 5, which will be 2:05 in Hawaii for you. That's tomorrow. Wednesday, Mariners and Rangers at the same time, 5:05 my time, 2:05 your time in Hawaii. And then Thursday, NFL Draft Round 1. Friday, NFL Draft Rounds 2 and 3. And then on Saturday, we play the Diamondbacks at 6:40 on FS1, and we'll do that. So, and my buddy's going to do games on Saturday and Sunday against the Diamondbacks, I believe. All right, less than 5 minutes to go. Golden Knights 4, Stars 3. Oh, nice steal. I got to throw up some Michael Penix Jr. here. All right, we got 4 minutes to go. 4-3 Vegas. Oh! I like his character too, just like Bo Nix. I feel like those two guys have the best character, out of anybody, out of the other four quarterbacks. Those things mean something. It's like, oh, someone's an athlete. That's fine, if you're an athlete, but I need to know, like, what's going on. Like, are you coachable? Are you a good person? You know what I mean? Is it me, or is it team? And like I saw that interview with the Vic Blends and Brady, and he said it, man. He said a lot of players, including quarterbacks, are fucking selfish. And they, it's all about me, my social media, my brand. And that's why they struggle, and they're not putting the team first. And whether you love Brady or you hate him, he's really mature and he understands that, and I really appreciate that from him, being able to call out a lot of these NFL players, that wear all the bling and, try to do all these photos on fucking Instagram. It's stupid. It's like, if you really want to be able to be a legend and an icon and a winner, it has to be team first, not me first. And I got much respect for Brady. Like back in the day, I didn't like him just because, Patriots, Deflategate, cheating, him, Gronk, and Belichick and whatnot. And then obviously going to the Bucs and helping me win a Super Bowl. And I actually got to, hear him actually talk to the media, see him on socials, see how he conducted himself. And it was kind of a night and day difference because Belichick was kind of like, a disciplined guy, and he wouldn't really let Tom or Gronk or anyone let them be themselves. And then once he went to Tampa, you can kind of see like what Brady was really about. And I think a lot of the haters that hated him on New England started to like him on Tampa. And I think that, he's super, super intelligent and he's tapped in to what's going on in the NFL nowadays. There's a lot of fucking selfish athletes that are out there, and they only care about their socials, what they're wearing, their brand, what kind of deals they're getting, and they don't care about their teammates. It's fucking sad, man. And that's the reason why, Brady is going to end up being one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest, even 10, 20, 30 years from now. There's not going to be very many people that are going to be in that same category with them besides Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, and then, obviously Patrick Mahomes. We got less than 2 minutes to go with an empty net. We'll get some more Penix Jr. in here. Plus, I gained credibility too. Me being a Ducks fan and being like the most hardcore Ducks fan on planet Earth. Matt's pretty hardcore as well, but I've been watching for a long, long time. Since like the '80s when we would win like one game. And for me to be able to say with true confidence, and even into the NFL, even though I could be a homer and be like Bo Nix, and I still think that he's up there, and I think he proved that he's got that Baker Mayfield in him. He's got that dog in him, and I think that he could succeed. But I think that Penix Jr.'s ceiling is slightly higher. I think that, and also being a lefty and just, a lot of the intangibles. But I think like off the field and their personalities and Bo Nix being married, and being mature at 24, that obviously puts him up higher than some of these other guys, Caleb and Jaden Daniels, Drake May and McCarthy. Those guys may pan out, but they may bust. So. Plus, it would be kind of nice and a big kind of FU to the rest of the college football fans if those end up being the two best, since everyone loves to hate on the Pac-12, even though we don't even fucking exist anymore. Like, it's just comical seeing Michigan, Ohio State fans, ACC fans, SEC fans, Bama fans, and just everyone just shitting on our conference and our players. In the last couple of years, the Pac-12 has been pumping out some pretty good talent. And not to mention, we got the best center in the draft in Jackson Powers. Hopefully Tampa drafts him at 26. So that's what I'm hoping for, because we need a center this year. There you go. Well, we got 1:20 left, so it looks like Vegas might hold on. Yeah. And the thing is like, I think that, he can be, like a Tua, like a top 10, top 12 quarterback, but I think he could be better than Tua. I think he could be better than Michael Vick. Now, I don't know if I would go to the extreme of Steve Young, because that might be the, Boomer Esiason was good back in the day, but Steve Young is like the cream of the crop. Like, if we're talking about left-handed quarterbacks in the last 35, 40 years, he's number one, right? I don't know if Penix Jr. can get to that point, but I know he can be better than Vic and Tua. So he could end up being like, the next best after Steve Young. That's saying a lot, and hopefully he can have flashes like Steve as well, depending on what team he goes to. Yeah, and then obviously there's been some rumors, that the Falcons and a few other teams are, interested in guys. Obviously you've got Kirk Cousins, so you don't need Penix Jr. But there is a possibility that Bo Nix or Penix Jr. could get picked 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. Depending on what happens at the top of the draft. But I mean, honestly, I wouldn't want to be picked at the top. I wouldn't want to play for the Bears. I wouldn't want to play for New England. No offense, Judah. I wouldn't want to play for the fucking Commanders, the fucking terrible franchise with terrible ownership. I don't want to say they have terrible fans, but they're a dysfunctional family there. Maybe the Giants is like the one that you could go there and you might be able to pan out, maybe, but they still have a lot of holes on their roster. And again, maybe going to like the Rams or the Vikings for Penix. And even if, Bo Nix goes to Denver, there's no guarantee that he pans out. Denver's got a lot of holes, and he might go to Denver and fail and have to go to another team like, Baker Mayfield did, and then finally find his way from the Browns to the Rams to the Bucs. And maybe, same thing for Bo Nix. Maybe Bo goes to Denver, it doesn't work out. Then he goes to another team and then another team, and then he finds his team like Tampa, like Baker did, So I'm not going to give up on Bo if he fails on his first team. I think he's got enough skill set where he might have to wait to his second or third if it doesn't work for Denver, just because Denver has so many holes. And, I'm not sure. Sean Payton was a great coach with the Saints, but I'm not sure if he'll ever repeat the type of magic that he had with Denver, with the squad that they have. And I know Matt wants them to turn it around, but in all honesty, I mean, it's one thing to be able to beat up on the Raiders and the Chargers, but when you're competing with the Chiefs in that division, I mean, that's tough. All right, we got less than 40 seconds left. Yeah, but let's be honest, Matt, you're a Denver fan, but Denver isn't really ideal either. They're not really in a very good position. Denver's not in a good position. The Giants aren't really in a good position. They don't got Saquon, right? You know what I mean? Like the New England Patriots are rebuilding. The Commanders are dysfunctional, and the Bears are dysfunctional. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you ended up going to Bo Nix to the Vikings, and Penix Jr. to the Rams, that actually might end up being better. It wouldn't be good for you, Matt, because obviously you are a Denver fan and you want Bo Nix with, Sean Payton. But Bo would have more success in Minnesota than he would in Denver. That's just being real. And obviously Michael Penix Jr. would have success in Minnesota, but more success in Los Angeles on the Rams. And that is the end. Golden Knights win. Final score, Vegas 4, Dallas 3. Yep, and they fucked up there. What they did with the Russell thing fucked them up, And again, it's like you got to have the right coaches, the right players, and, they don't have DeMarcus Ware there. There is no John Elway. You don't have Shannon Sharp there. You don't have Ed McCaffrey. There's certain types of people that you need to be able. Now, you still got Cortland Sutton there, but again, like what you did with the trade with Seattle, that kind of fucked you up, man. Like, that's not trying to be a hater. Me and Reflect, we just try to call it how we see it. But Denver isn't in a very good position to be good. Like, it's going to take them maybe just as long as Chicago, New England, or the Commanders to be good. And that's not being an asshole. That's just being honest. Like, it might take 4, 5, 6 years for Denver to be good, and by that time, Bo Nix and Sean Payton might not even be there. If they draft Bo Nix. So yeah, well, Seattle has a good spot. Seattle actually is like a playoff team or a fringe playoff team. You can't compare Seattle to Washington. The Commanders are dysfunctional. Seattle actually is a pretty good roster. DK, Lockett. You look at Kenneth Walker III, Geno, the defense. They still got players that they need to get, but they have more pieces in play now than Denver, than New England, than Washington, New York, or Chicago. That's just being honest. All right, let's get some photos up here for Reflect. And I want to be able to see where Rome goes as well. and Troy Franklin for the Ducks. So it's not only the quarterbacks, but I want to be able to see the wide receivers go to a good team where they can actually get targets and they can compete, with Xavier Worthies and Maserati Marvin Harrison Jr. Everyone talks about the big boys from, Texas and Ohio State. But if you actually watch college football this year, even though they may not get drafted as high, we still feel that they could be impact players on the teams that they go to if they get enough targets. And like I said, I'm a pretty fucking good evaluator of tape, and there's only been a few players that made me say, damn, and I was like, must-see TV. The first one for me, at quarterback, in probably years and years and years was Michael Vick, then Johnny Football, even though I knew some guys were going to pan out and some guys weren't in the NFL, right? And then Michael Penix Jr., obviously, for UW. He's just got the it factor. Not saying that Bo Nix doesn't, but just the simple fact that he's a lefty is going to be special. And again, if you don't realize that, we got Dylan Gabriel coming in, right? And he's a lefty. So you're going to see what the Ducks are going to be able to bring. And, I feel that we should be a top 5 team next year, and we're going to have a chance for a natty, or a Rose Bowl or a big significant bowl game, and you'll see, what Dylan Gabriel will be able to bring as being a lefty. He's a little bit built more like a Tebow rather than a Penix Jr. He's more bigger, physical rather than more smooth like Penix Jr. But having a lefty quarterback is going to be really special. And like I said, I was super jealous, of you guys this year, and then we're actually going to be able to experience it next year. Funny how that works out. Like the sports gods are like, damn, we're going to give the Ducks an opportunity to understand what it's like, to go against teams that don't know what it's like to game plan against a lefty. There's not a lot of lefties in college football or in the NFL, And again, if you have a good skill set and a good arm and a good head on your shoulders and a good support system, you can really start racking up numbers against teams. Can't wait, man. I can't wait. Highest feeling out of any quarterback in the draft, this guy right here. And like I said, I would be kind of shocked if he gets onto the Rams, he will be the best quarterback in the draft, hands down. If the Rams pick him, he will eventually end up being the best quarterback in this whole entire draft class. Now, if he goes to Minnesota, it might be between him, Bo Nix, depending on Denver or wherever, and maybe Caleb, obviously with the Bears, and then we'll see what Jaden Daniel does if, he ends up panning out or getting hurt, and whatnot. But I don't really got a lot of confidence in Drake May or, JJ McCarthy. But again, in the right situation, if you can end up on a team like San Francisco and they already have all the pieces laid out for you, you can be a Brock Purdy and be a Mr. Irrelevant and turn into a top 10 quarterback. But that, doesn't happen that often. So. And the more tape you watch, the better evaluator you're going to be. And like I said, I feel like a lot of people on socials, they're liars. All they do is follow someone like us here, and then they take the opinion, based on what we've done all the hard work, right? And then they piggyback. Or you just go into a room with a bunch of people and no one knows shit, and then they just piggyback off someone else, And if you ended up watching how he played against like Ohio State and Michigan when he was there, that was the tall tale sign once he went to UW, if he could stay injury free, that things are going to be good. And that's a good sign. There's no question marks about his intelligence, his teammate ability, me or team. He's got a good head on his shoulders. I mean, really the only thing is like, okay, can you stay healthy? And he's been able to stay healthy the last couple of years, and he's been must-see TV. I mean, I wouldn't be this passionate about someone unless I didn't really believe it. And again, I'm not going to be right all the time, but again, I feel that if you compare my breakdowns compared to any other streamer on YouTube, I mean, you can check the receipts, on who ends up having more ESP and who's right more than not. So I would take our room here in the NWSF against any room on YouTube as far as intelligence and statistics and actually knowing what's going to happen. And again, we're not going to be right all the time, but I would take the opinion of a few of us in the room compared to anyone else on planet Earth, that's on YouTube or Twitch. Because no one's going to put in the type of effort that we do, I mean, the only type of person that's going to put in the effort like us is like a scout, and that's how I approach it, as a scout, for a team. So, yeah, all you got to do is end up watching that Texas tape. Exactly. Excited to see what Rome can do and Troy Franklin as well. It's unfortunate that, you guys couldn't win it all. But, again, to even get to the Natty and your fucking Washington Huskies, after the Ducks, were getting a little bit of love and whatnot, it's like, I was proud of that, man. It's like a lot of times, you get Duck fans that are like, fuck them, because they just, the rivalry runs deep. But again, once you get to a certain point, you can appreciate greatness. That's what it comes down to. It's like you can have your favorite team and favorite players, but if I see something that's better somewhere else or on the same level, why am I hating on that? Yeah, I mean, people do it to me all the time. Peter Schrager, EA Sports and Madden with the sack lunch. Right? Uncle Mo, so it's like people are always going to come here and steal the material because they know that we do more here than most channels do and most people do on planet Earth. Like I'm going to read 5 to 6 hours a day. How many people on YouTube that do a show can honestly say that? They can lie and say they do it on stream, but obviously when they're calling games, they're not going to be able to come up with predictions, or they're not going to compete on fantasy football on our level, like me and Reflect. It's like, you can talk a big game, but at the end of the day, you got to be able to show results. That's a big fact. Anything else that you guys want to be able to see photo-wise, Reflect, before I go? I got to take Paisley for another late night walk, and I have to eat dinner, which I haven't done yet. But we got a fantastic series with the Rangers tomorrow. Hope you guys can make it and hang out with me and watch it. And back-to-back days, Tuesday and Wednesday, play the Rangers on the road, and hopefully we can beat them to get above 500. They're 12-11, first place. We're second place, 11-11 in the division. And 5:05 tomorrow, and then 5:05 on Wednesday, and then NFL Draft Night 1 on Thursday at 5, and then NFL Night number 2 on Friday, rounds 2 and 3. I'll do both of those days. And then we'll just, I'll watch the Mariner game at the same time against the Diamondbacks on night number 2 of the draft on Friday. So. Yeah, they know. I think other channels, they know. There might be other channels out there that got more subs, or they may, get more views. But I mean, if we're talking about just straight up intelligence, and stats and analytics, there is no one that is going to even come close to us. And that is big facts. And that's a lot of passion, that we have for our teams and our players. Nice win there for the Vegas Golden Knights. And Paisley is calling, so I think I'm going to call it a day. Reflect, anything else you want to see photo-wise before I go, since you were the last one to Donnell? And make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health. Obviously, very, very important with addiction, depression, anxiety. Make sure that you know what your triggers are, and that way that you can climb out of it. Like for me, I listen to 60s music, which is kind of crazy now because it's 2024, and 60s music is like 60 years old. But the type of music that you listen to, can definitely affect your mood throughout the day. And what I've noticed since I ended up living with family and having 60s music on all day, my mood has never been better. And I was obviously, taking care of Paisley and being a dog faja and, having my Dada, that makes a big, big difference in my life, as well as you guys. Having positive people in your life, can make a big difference. And, shout out to everybody in the room. You guys are very, very special to me. I'm always going to put in 150%. And I really want to say thank you to every single person that comes in here on the regular, that likes and views and shares and donates and support. And it really means everything to me, for me and Paisley. I love you guys very, very much. Oh, I did not. Let me flip it up here real quick. a little jealous. I wish I had a next gen system, but again, I have to be responsible and pay off things and, get myself back on track. Obviously, getting a car is next step, and then saving up to be able to move out at some point and being able to get myself reestablished in my life. So beautiful custom controller. Nuggets won in a buzzer beater. I'm telling you. Murray for the win. Murray and Joker are the most qualified, competent, underrated duo in the league. Murray doesn't get enough credit, for how good he is, not only in the regular season, but in the playoffs. So don't be surprised if the Nuggets go back-to-back this year. Like I said, and I said that at the beginning of the year, but I'm still saying it. But again, if Boston, had a little bit more depth and they had a big man to guard the Joker and a couple more pieces on the bench, then I would feel a little bit more confident with Boston going all the way. But Boston, at some point, you would hope, for at least Shep's sake and a few other Boston Celtic fans' sake, that they'll win it all at some point. But it's like if you keep going up against big men that you can't guard, like Giannis or the Joker, you're going to have to find a guy to match up to those guys. Like get a Wemby on Boston, and then maybe we have something. So, very cool. Yeah, well, Giannis hurt. I mean, anybody can beat them if Dame gets 35 in the first half and 0 in the second half. Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Reflect anything that you want to see. Since you were the last one to donate, I don't want to skip out of here without showing my proper appreciation and love for you guys and whatnot. I always want to make sure I can get enough photos for you guys, even though I know most of the time you don't really care about the photos, but I still try to, show that love and appreciation. So everything good from everybody? I already got him some Tay photos at the end of the second period, so all good, man. Good choice. I got you. Good old Breaking Bad. I might actually restart that from the beginning and watch it again. And then, or not Breaking Bad, but Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. Probably should do both. Start over Breaking Bad and do Better Call Saul from the beginning. Great, both are great shows. All right, so we got Mariners and Rangers tomorrow. Then we got Mariners, Rangers on Wednesday. And then we got the NFL draft on Thursday and Friday. Can't wait. And then we got Mariners on Saturday against the Diamondbacks. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun these next 5 days. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Oh, I did not know that. I hope you guys make sure you're handling your mental health. I love you and appreciate you. Thank you to everyone that donated, commented, and shared. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. We got 55 in the room. Appreciate y'all. And I got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Done.